Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to the kickoff of NFC Week, right here on 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 days, right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Oh, we're ready to rock and roll as we got ourselves a fun one today, y'all. This is going to be a doozy. Oh, yeah. We have ourselves one fun show because the NFC West is going to be a whole bunch of fun. This division, it looks to be dominated. It really does. It looks to be dominated by the Niners. Who else to win it, right? But who is going to be that second place team? Is there going to be an upset? Injuries happen. How close will that second place team be? Can they overtake the Niners? Is there a team that's going to surprise us this year like the Giants did last year in the NFC East? I'm just saying, this is going to be a whole bunch of fun, and I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll because we got ourselves some good stuff coming on up. All right. Well, starting things off in the NFC West today, we have ourselves Los Angeles. That's right, though. We're starting off in LA as we are talking to Built for LA. Awesome dude. Jumped on late last night. Got a cool recording with him. Hear what he's got to say. One knowledgeable dude, and we're ready to talk to him about his Rams. Then we're taking a trip out to the desert, to Glendale, to talk with our very own Kieran Daly of AZ Sports Daily. Hear how optimistic he is about his Cardinals this year, but also how realistic he is. Then we're going straight up to the Pacific Northwest to talk to Seahawks today. Another knowledgeable fan there talking all about their awesome content and how they think the Seahawks are going to get it going this year. Hey, I'll tell you, that's exciting. And of course, after that, we are headed down to San Francisco as we get ready to talk about these 49ers with none other than our favorite 49er fan by way of the East Coast. East Coast Red and Gold, that is, of IE Sports Radio, our very own Jess. Oh, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a party, and we're kicking off the NFC week with a true doozy today. Let's do it, y'all. You are now tuned in live to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 days. Day number 5 overall, and day number 1 of NFC week. Let's do this. Good afternoon, football fans. Well, I hope you guys are all excited because I know I definitely am. Oh my gosh, we've been waiting for this. Let's go. I'll tell you, 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 days is something so near and dear to me. I love doing this series. It is so stressful, okay? It is just, getting these interviews. My wife last night described it as me being on call because it's crazy when people cancel on you earlier in the day or the day before and you're trying to find new fans on Twitter. It's so crazy. Last night was crunch time. We had 2 fans cancel for their interviews, and I was scrambling. This show almost didn't happen today. I was scrambling for a host for 2 fans last night, a Ram and a Seahawk. And wouldn't you know, I was up, and thankfully they're on the West Coast, and I am trying to find people. And what happens? I find a Rams fan built for LA. This dude is awesome, man. He was like, oh, I got work tomorrow, but I'll jump on, brother. I'm like, thank you. Super cool guy. But then after that, I also found Seahawks Today, which awesome dude. Jumped on a little bit ago, talked to them, and said we can do it today. And I was so excited about that as well. We arranged it earlier this morning, and well, now we got all of it complete, and NFC Day, our NFC West Day is here. So oh my gosh, just craziness, right? That's the craziness that comes with doing this show every year. I can't believe it, you guys. Here we go. One more week and we get football on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I don't give a crap if it's the Hall of Fame game. We get NFL football coming up on Thursday, the Hall of Fame game, Jets and Browns. I don't care who plays or who doesn't play. It's football. I'm excited. And we have a very, very, very good season in front of us, as we always do. It's the NFL, right? We love our football, and that's how we do it. So, anyway, guys, we have ourselves a really, really, really good show lined up for y'all, and I hope you are ready for a whole bunch of football. The NFC West, my goodness, where do we start? Once again, the Niners are just the Niners, right? The Niners are a team that it's almost like a, like it's gonna be the Niners. I mean, right? That's what we're all saying. And silly us to not say it's going to be the Niners. This is one strong football team, okay? They should not be taken lightly, and they're pretty damn good. Even people in these interviews today are taking the Niners. However, are we forgetting how good this Seahawks receiving core is? Are we forgetting the new additions for the Arizona Cardinals? And are we forgetting that the Rams are realistically just a few pieces away from having another really good team, I mean, once again, I'm not saying that these teams are going to overthrow the Niners, or could they? But I will say that it is so easy for things to happen. Look what happened last year. The Niners, my gosh, this team, they were pulling people out of the stands in the NFC Championship game. All right? It really, it's crazy. Injuries count so much. Of course, that was the most important position at quarterback. But they were, they weren't fully healthy everywhere else. But I'll just say that they were, they were overall still pretty healthy to get that far in the playoffs. Unfortunately, though, the whole quarterback thing happened, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. However, health, we all know how important it is. And we all do know that if you expect your team to win a Super Bowl, you need to be as healthy as you can be. So, is that going to play a factor this year? And once again, we're looking at a Rams team here that seems like it seems like a team that has so much going for them right now. I know, some people are like they're bottom feeders or whatever, but once again, take a close look at this team. They may surprise some people. The Cardinals, they could be yet another surprise if they get things going. And once again, the Seahawks, man, that defense plays how they did last year. I mean, they were 9-9 last year. People forget how good this division really was. Everyone just wants to write everybody off because the Niners are so good. So, with that said, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to enjoy ourselves today. And, well, let's get to the football. So, here we go, y'all. Starting things off, we are taking a trip out to L.A., to start things off with the Los Angeles Rams. Make sure to jump on over to our voting poll. Follow the show at 3and Out IESR. Once again, it's at 3and Out IESR. I have pinned the voting poll to the top of of our Twitter, or X, if you will, account. Cast your vote for who you think is going to win this thing, and we'll talk about it later on in my final weigh-in. I'll tell you guys what I think of the NFC West this year, who I think is going to win it. First, second, third, fourth, all that good stuff. Then you guys will let us know via your votes. So get those votes in, and, well, it's about time to head on over to Los Angeles. Once again, you're listening to 3and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC Week, day number 1, the kickoff of NFC Week, and, of course, day number 5 overall. We're talking NFC West. Let's head on out to L.A. and talk Rams with Built for L.A. right after this.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, day number 1 of NFC week. We just finished with the AFC last week. Here we go right on into the NFC. Today, of course, day number 1, starting out with the NFC West. And the first team on the docket is none other than a team not too far from here, the Los Angeles Rams, a team that won it all a couple years ago. Definitely gone backwards since. However, there's still lots and lots and lots of belief from this fan base. And, well, a lot of people do believe this team has still got that spark to make a pretty deep run. So, here to help me talk about these Los Angeles Rams, I'm glad to have him here today with us. Really cool dude. Just talking with him before we jumped on air. And, well, glad to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming diehard Rams fan, and actually diehard everything Rams fan, built for LA. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, brother. Glad to have you. Thanks again. Kind of a last-minute thing here, but you jumped on and helped save the day, man, to get a Rams fan on the podcast today. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, brother. Well, here we go, man. Let's go ahead and jump on into last year. Let's go ahead and recap last season. I know you're probably like, wow, I hate this guy already. Like, wow, we're going to talk about last year. I know, but my apologies, brother. But we're going to get into last year. I guess kind of get a quick recap. Okay, so 5-12 overall in the entire season. You went 1-5 in the NFC West. Okay, ouch. You start off the season with a very tough loss. This is kind of like where, I don't know, I honestly, a lot of people thought that it was going to be the Rams blowing out the Bills the way that the Bills blew out the Rams in game number 1. It was tough. It sucked. For you guys, it was really tough. However, it happened. Whatever, put it behind us, right? Because you guys would win 2 in a row after that. Looking pretty good. Unfortunately, well, you would beat the Falcons and the Arizona Cardinals. After that, though, sadly, you would drop 2 in a row to the Niners and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, a nice little redemption victory over the Panthers. Then you get a bye week, and okay, now let's turn it on, right? Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. You guys would lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight to the Niners, Buccaneers, Cardinals, the Saints, the Chiefs, and Seattle. However, my beloved Raiders, I'm a Raider fan. I know. It's okay. Feel bad for me. It's totally fine. You can totally, it's okay. It's like having like a cold. Like, oh, you're a Raiders? Oh, don't get too close. You don't get too close. I don't want none of that. Like, yeah, it's kind of sad. But kind of
all
crazy.
love, brother. All love.
Yeah, it's all love, right? So one of my really good friends was giving me his season tickets for that game. We couldn't make it out on December 8th. It would have been so cool to go see them lose, how they did on that on the ending drive there. You guys, though, were very happy as you get a victory that night.
Yeah, it was wild. I was at that game, and I gotta say, it's the first time I've ever been to a home event, and it felt like a visiting game. Like it really did. It didn't feel right, but it made the victory so much more sweeter. And, I mean, I'm sure you saw the videos all over Twitter. The place was a madhouse after the game ended.
Oh, it really was. And it's true. Us Raider fans can pack the house. It's just, the team doesn't know what they're doing. But you guys definitely did that night. That was Baker Mayfield's first game, right?
Yeah, that was his first game, and he had no practice prior to the game. He flew into LAX less than 48 hours prior to game time, and it's crazy because he had no reps whatsoever with any receiver that was on the field. He literally he said on the interview he literally studied the playbook on the flight to LA. So he was as fresh as it got. He wasn't even the starter. We tried going with John Wolford that game, because he was our primary backup at the time. but he was still battling an injury. And when for the first 2 drives when we got 3 and outed by you guys, that's when McVay realized, like, okay, if we want a chance in this, we gotta let Baker go in. And then once he went in, that's when everything hit the fan. I mean, Rams quickly get on the board. They get within 3. But then after that, you guys shut us out pretty much for 90% of the game leading into the fourth quarter. You guys had a 13-point lead going into the fourth. And then obviously we remember what went down from there, and then resulted in a game-winning touchdown drive from the 2-yard line, may I add. I'll never forget it, about one of your special teamers doing the gritty next to the ball while it was rolling down to the 2-yard line. And then Baker Mayfield, with the help of a couple penalties, I'm not going to shy away from that. Penalties were a factor in that, because you guys did end up getting an interception on that drive, but was turned over by a defensive pass interference call, which was correct because Van Jefferson's arm was tugged prior to the throw. And then after that, it was a couple of short passes to Tutu Atwell, and then that Moss throw over to Ben Skoranek, and then one more dump pass to Skoranek, and then ended with over a 30-yard dime over the shoulder to Van Jefferson. And then to wrap up the game on the first throw from scrimmage on the drive from Derek Carr, intercepted by Taylor Rapp to seal the game for the Los Angeles Rams and end that losing streak.
The applause button has been hit. Built for LA. Brother, you literally you remembered that entire game. That was amazing.
No, dude, it was such a moment, because obviously there was 10 Rams fans there, but even for the Rams fans that were there, I remember I was on the 400 catwalk. My close buddy from Utah flew down for the game. He's a Patriots fan, but he's never been to SoFi, so he wanted to be there to experience it. I was sitting around I was standing on the railing with a bunch of Rams fans. The whole section below me was all Raider fans. But when they got the touchdown throw, dude, it honestly felt like we won the Super Bowl, because me and the other Rams fans, we all grouped together and we just start jumping and yelling. It was a madhouse. And, I got to say, I was scared for my life when it happened, because I'll be real. I got so hyped. I stood up on the railing. I started yelling at the Raider fans below me, and they all started turning around and like pumping fists and all that. But still, yeah, no, it was an amazing game. And afterwards, I had a few conversations with some Raider fans who were actually pretty chill about it. One Raider fan wasn't so chill about it and ended up actually yanking me. But besides that, that was the only bad experience I had. Dude, it's crazy. There were so many Raider fans there. The shuttle driver was a Raiders fan.
No! Dude, let me just apologize on behalf of our fan base. I mean, half of them don't even know what football is. They just like the colors. I just hate to say it, but I mean, let's just be real. But dude,
no, I know, because I was actually at the first open Rams camp yesterday, and there was as you would expect, there was a couple Raider fans there, and I actually talked to a couple of them, and they said, "Oh, we're not even real football fans. We just want to feel involved." And we're like, "Oh, okay, that works too."
You gotta love that.
Whatever floats your boat.
You gotta love it. Dude, I'm just telling you, you're incredible, dude. You freaking went, you navigated the whole game. We relived it right now. I loved it. Awesome stuff there, man. But
one final note I want to add on Raider fans. I'm sorry, I know I'm on this.
No, you're good.
But dude, one last thing I want to add. I'm never gonna forget this one either, because I'm a big hockey guy, big LA Kings guy. I was at Rams night, the night after they won the Super Bowl, and right after the anthem ended, myself and because a lot of the Rams booster clubs were there, because they brought the trophy to Staples Center, and I actually was lucky enough to take a photo with it. But what ended up happening is me and the other Rams fans started going like, "Whose house? Rams house!" And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hear Raiders. We're like, "What the? No way!" And we look up in the nosebleeds, and there's an entire Raiders fan section in the nosebleeds at LA Kings Rams night. We're like, we can't get away from these guys, man. We just won the Super Bowl and they're at our celebration.
And we've gone 4-12 the last 20 years, and we're still. I mean, I just don't get it. It's hilarious, and oh my gosh! And you're a king. Okay, well, I'm embarrassed to say I'm a duck. Embarrassed to say I'm a duck. Dude, all my teams suck. I'm a Galaxy fan. We're horrible.
Hey, I'm a Galaxy fan too, dude. I'm riding that rain.
It hurts, right? It's like, wow, like this is wow. It's like watching the Patriots right now. Like, wow, we were great.
No, I hear you. And unfortunately, I'm an Angels fan for baseball, so
we rep both. My wife and I kind of we got lost in the sauce with both, so we rep the Dodgers and the Angels. All I know is, and I know here we should be talking about the Rams, but I'm just saying, I'm so happy. Keep Ohtani. We got Crone back, building around Ohtani. Thank you, God. Something is going right for once with all of my horrible teams. I'm a USC fan too. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess.
I'm UCLA, but well,
both of our schools are stupid because they're both leaving to the Big Ten. So I'm very angry about that, dude. Trust me.
Anyway, back on the Rams.
Back to the Rams. My apologies, brother. So anyway,
no, we're good, man. Hey, it's sports. You gotta love them. Gotta love them.
Exactly, brother. So you go next week. Head on over to Lambeau. Wasn't the best experience. You get a loss. However, you guys are pretty pissed off about that because you would head home and Denver would come on over and you would send them home with a 50 burger on their head. Then
on Christmas Day.
On Nickelodeon.
Which is
how dare you show that to kids? It was you destroyed them.
You can't show you can't show a massacre on children's television. You can't do that.
Horrible. And then after that, man, you guys would have a away game at home, which it's weird. Now I know what the Giants and Jets feel like. But anyway, so cool. Then you unfortunately took a loss to the Chargers, and then you ended off with just the weirdest game versus Seattle in Seattle. You guys took a 19-16 loss in overtime. Built for LA, brother. Give me every raw emotion from last season, man, as a Rams fan.
It was such a wide range of emotions because at the first half of the year, because there was only 2 Rams games I missed that were in LA, and every game I was going to, the energy was always the same. Everybody was so I think the biggest thing was we still were on the whole thing of run it back. That was our slogan going into that year. And to begin the year, things were honestly looking hopeful. We were like, oh, man, we got our team back. Obviously, we're missing a couple key pieces, but overall, we're keeping the main theme alive. And in doing that, we have a chance to really run it back. And because of that, we really did believe for the first quarter of the season. When the injuries started to occur, that's when everything hit the fan because, obviously at the end of the season, the thing that was being hung over our heads was worst defending champions in history. Then again, my response would always be the same. You're right. Worst defending champions in history, but also the most injured champions in history. So, Can't forget that. Trust me, as much as it hurts, at the same time, we are just so fulfilled that we got that ring because that's been our pursuit since the Rams returned to Los Angeles in 2016. Because, that's never going to change the history of what the Rams have done in Los Angeles in their short time. Because when they came back in the 2015-2016 season, they started the year 3-1 with Jeff Fisher still as the coach, Case Keenum being at the helm, and along with you still got Kenny Britt, Tavon Austin, Lance Kendrick, all of them. And we ended the season 4-12 that year after going 3-1 to begin it. Then Sean McVay took over. He became the first coach in history to turn the worst offense to the NFL to the best offense in the NFL. In his second year, brings them to the Super Bowl. He gets out-coached. He gets to the Super Bowl again, doesn't let it happen again. And he brings the oh-so-wanted chip to Los Angeles. That's what he does.
You know what, man? It sucks to hear that and say that because I mean, I've been around it, but it sucks to still hear, people, man, we're the worst defending champions. It's like, okay, but you don't, like, the circumstances, man. Like, okay, I'm just going to be real with you. Last year, I hate the Chargers, okay? I can't stand them. You know that. I'm a Raider, okay?
Hey, I'm with you, dude.
Yeah, I picked them to win the Super Bowl last year because, gosh damn it, they looked amazing. Well, the injury bug beat the living crap out of them, and, well, they were anything but impressive. So it happens, man. You know what I mean? Look at the Niners. Look at how close they were. They were down to pulling guys out of this. Hey, come here. You got an arm. Come here. You know what I mean? Hey, you. Section 104, seat 3. Come here. Like, I mean, you know, can you throw a ball? Like, that's exactly what it was, you know? Like, I mean, injuries happen, man. And you guys were pretty banged up. So when it comes down to it, man, it is what it is. The Rams are still the Rams. It's just, unfortunately, crap happens. And what are you going to do, man? So that was a lid on last season. Let's get on into free agency. So we're going to go free agency real quick, kind of get into the draft, expectations for this season, and then that's going to be it, man. So short and sweet. Let's have some fun with it. So free agency. Okay, Jalen Ramsey, the elephant in the room. Let's just peel the Band-Aid off of Jalen Ramsey. He's heading over to Miami. Miami fans are happy. Well, unfortunately, he's got that surgery now and everything. All the best to him. But you guys got a nice little, you guys will head him over to Miami. After that, Leonard Floyd over to the Bills, Allen Robinson over to the Steelers, Mayfield's going to the Bucks, Wagner, SoCal product himself heading up back to the Seahawks, just all these different things. Okay, but then there were some pickups, Witherspoon coming over from the Steelers. Okay, cool. Hunter Long, tight end, coming over from the Dolphins. There were some, Demarcus Robinson coming over from the Ravens. Just a couple different moves here and there. But what do you think, man, overall? Like I said, we'll get into the draft right after this. So if you want to combine the draft with this, you're completely fine to do it. But Built for LA, talk to us, man. What did you think? What were your biggest pickups and your biggest losses of the offseason?
Our biggest loss was easily Jalen Ramsey, just because he brought so much to the table, not just in terms of his skill, but as his leadership. And the Rams, I'm going to say blatantly, they didn't get enough for him. They in my eyes and the eyes of a lot of Rams fans, we got fleeced. And that was a huge loss. Leonard Floyd was also a pretty big loss because him and Aaron Donald have been paired up for the past few seasons. They've looked great together. So that chemistry has to reset now. There's other notable ones. Obviously, Allen Robinson's gone. He didn't do a crazy amount when he was here, but there was still potential with him. Obviously, Bobby Wagner didn't turn out the way we wanted him to, so he ended up returning to his old threads. So I would say the biggest thing, obviously our biggest loss, Jalen Ramsey, and then I say the biggest improvement going into this year, I would have to say, is our overall depth. Because we had an extremely good draft. The Rams have always been a very good drafting team, but this year just kind of put that on a pedestal because obviously the theme is the Rams don't have a first-round pick. The Rams don't have a first-round pick. You're right, we don't. But even without those first-round picks, the Rams still get what they need when they need it, and that's been the theme. Steve Avila was a really good pickup. I saw him at training camp yesterday. He looked great. He's comfortable. He's already being inserted in the starting rotation. He looks really good. Kobe Turner, he was a steal in the draft. So he's looked good. He looks like a main focus. And from what I've been hearing from a couple of my insider buddies, it's a possibility he will be getting regular season reps this year. There's other names out there. Obviously, there's a wide receiver. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's going to be getting some reps in preseason, and people are looking forward to him. I know he came from Ole Miss, and there's other names out there. Like overall, we drafted really freaking well, and it's gonna come because the biggest thing is for the theme for this year is people stepping up because. It's no secret that the side of the ball that took the biggest hit for the Rams was the defensive side because now only the defensive line has fortified leadership. And obviously that's under the legend himself, Aaron Donald. So who's going to be the leader for the middle and for the secondary? Because Bobby Wagner's gone and now we don't have Jalen Ramsey. And So who's going to step up? There's been a huge step up of late. It's been a theme for the past couple seasons since he came into the league. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the name of Ernest Jones. His rookie year was our Super Bowl year. He came in. His first game was against the Cardinals when we were in Arizona. They were 11-1, I believe, at the time, and we were coming off our losing streak when we beat them there. He came in, first drive, he got an interception. And since then, he's really asserted himself as like an influence. And this year, he's been very, very fortified on the leadership position from the linebackers. So, he was actually mic'd up yesterday for Rams camp, and he did an on the field interview during the camp. And yeah, he's completely ready to step into that role as the leader there for the linebackers. And then in the secondary, our biggest adjustment needs to be who's going to take over for Jalen Ramsey. And right now, our main focus is going to be our second-year cornerback, Kobe Durant, who was he was a rookie last year. He actually had a pretty decent year. He nearly had a pick six against the Falcons. I was lucky enough to be at that game. He brings the energy. I love his passion. The dude, he can fly. He's got some rocket boosters on those heels of his, and he really can bring the energy to the field. And he's looking to step in for that role. We got some returnings coming back. Jordan Fuller's a big name because he missed the majority of the year due to injury last year. So he's going to be definitely leading the safeties out there. Troy Hill is still with us. We got him back from Cleveland last year, so he reported in the camp. He's ready to go. There's some more names out there, but the biggest thing for the Rams, it's just establishing the relentlessness, and not only that, but the inability to quit. Because something very special happened yesterday at the Rams camp right before the camp started. Something that I haven't seen yet. Sean McVay actually took the mic and gave a speech to the fans prior to the camp starting, and he said, like, "Hey, look, we love seeing you guys back. We want you guys to know this. We have a resilient team this year. I know that these aren't the group of boys you're familiar with seeing, but I promise you, these young guys, they're hungry. These guys are ready to get at the grit, and I promise you guys will not be disappointed by the drive this team brings in to Los Angeles this year." So I'm looking forward to a really interesting year for the Rams. In terms of predictions, I've seen a wide range of predictions. Some Rams fans saying this is going to be a rebuild year. Some Rams fans saying it's just going to be like just above 500 and just average year. And then I see some fans, including myself, who have legitimate trust in this team and can see them possibly making a playoff run. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now in terms of where we're looking at going into training camp.
I love it, man. No. And I like because you already kind of went ahead, which is good, man. I mean, I want to go really quickly because over a few picks. He didn't have a first-round pick. However, Steve Avila, as you already said, beast out of TCU, played a national championship. The guy I like it a lot, man. This guy is a monster. Byron Young, linebacker at Tennessee, I thought was pretty dang good. Kobe Turner, defensive tackle out of Wake Forest in the third round. Stetson Bennett, you guys got, a national championship winning quarterback back there. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces. I'm glad you addressed these guys. Once again, if you want to go back on any of those, you already, like I said, you went ahead and I like it, man. Thank you very much for that. Just making the interview roll really good. So anyway, there it is. That was the offseason. It was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome talking with you tonight, man. But there's a couple more things we're going to do. Number one thing, you already kind of gave us the expectations. This year, you have, of course, the NFC West, your good old friends, right? The other three teams. Who else do you guys got this year? It looks like it is the NFC. If I'm not mistaken, it is the NFC. Who is it? The East? Is it the East? I see the NFC East in there. Yes. And
we got. I know we got the Browns, Steelers, Commanders. Yeah. They're all coming to town.
AFC North too. So those two, I like your realistic expectations. I like that you feel this team could actually be a strong playoff team or get there. And honestly, this team has the promise to do it. So heck of a job, man. You really, really had a awesome segment, man. It's one of my favorite segments doing this year, man. Seriously, you're one of the best because your analysis is so good, man. We've had a couple of them, and definitely you're one of them, especially on a whim. Once again, for joining me here tonight. But one more thing to do. This is always one of the funnest segments. It's a little segment.
Course,
it's a little segment we like to call "Stick It to 'Em" at the end. And
all right.
Yeah, he's smiling. He's ready. Well, built for LA, man. There are 3 other teams in this division that you kind of can't stand. And the best part is they can't stand your team right back. It's about rivalry. We love it. It's fun. But that's it. He's pulling the Lombardi. He's ready to roll. Well, I got to tell you, y'all, this team right here, this Rams team, just hoisted the Lombardi not too long ago. When was the last time the other 3 did? Well, we're going to hear about it right now. Built for LA. What you're going to do is let us know, your listener, how you think the Rams are going to do this year. Let us know how you think the Cardinals, the Niners, and the good old Seahawks are going to do this year. And, okay, be realistic what you think they're going to do. And it's okay to sprinkle a little bit on top and let us know how you really feel about those teams. Now, don't get too crazy, but hey, have some fun, talk some crap. It's all good, brother. So, without further ado, built for LA, stick it to them.
Let's see, man. So, my predictions going into the NFC West this year, as much as I hate to admit it, I got the first place and second division championship in the row. The San Francisco 49ers finishing with a record of 13-4, and I have them splitting the series with us. I have us taking the home opener, get the hell out of SoFi, and I'm trying to send those 49ers fans back down the escalator like that amazing photo that was taken in the NFC Championship game, dude. I want to recreate that. One of our Rams fans made a pin of that recently in an art gallery. It looks amazing. I bought one. I pinned it on my hat, and every 49ers fan I have seen, whether it be in Los Angeles or Utah or hell, even in Orlando, Florida, where I was at a few months ago when I was watching the Rams and Seahawks game, every 49ers fans I see, I show them the same photo of Debo crying in the corner. We beat you guys. It's pure and simple. Get over it. So they take the NFC West. Final record for them is 13-4. Coming in second place in the NFC West, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I predicted them finishing with a record, and in my opinion, an honest record of 11-6. I can see them going 11-6 this year and just clinching a wild card berth. That is where I see the Rams ending up. Coming in a very close third place, I got the Seattle Seahawks finishing with a record of 10-7. That's where I have them going. And then ringing up the rear, as per usual, you got the Arizona Cardinals. I got the Arizona Cardinals finishing with a record of 8-9 and doing what they do best, and that is staying in the bottom half of the division. So that's where I have the NFC West. And as a little side note, Cardinals fans, please hop off the Rams, because as much as you guys want to, you'll never beat us, because you guys are the oldest team in NFL history to not have a championship or Super Bowl. So please, get off.
Oh my gosh! Let me sound the thunder sound effect one more time. I was lining it a couple times during that segment, brother. That was amazing. Built for LA, I'm telling you, man. I was over here scrambling for our Rams fans, super, late here on a Sunday night, trying to get this thing going. Thank you so much for jumping on air with me. It really does mean a lot. Like I said, I got to go to work tomorrow, but thanks again, brother. Tomorrow when this show airs, I will tag you in it. It's gonna be great to hear you. And hey, when you can, join in. See if you can listen live. If not, the show's gonna be all over Apple Podcasts and Spotify and our YouTube channel, our website, iSportsRadio.com. You want to check out what the other 3 people have to say, because there's gonna be a Niner, a Seahawk, and a Cardinal on the same show coming up after you.
I'm sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, built for LA. Thanks again, brother. One more thing got to do. Let everybody know where to find you, man. Where are #RamsHouse, man? Where can all these diehard Rams find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all under the same at Built for LA. That's where you can find me at. You'll see me all over SoFi. You'll see me all over Staples Center. Wherever you guys see me, do not be afraid to say hello. I love meeting everyone. LA fan, even if you're not an LA fan, please come say hi to me. I love meeting everybody.
Apparently Raider fans too. They love you.
Oh yeah.
They love hanging out with you somehow, some way. It doesn't matter what sport it is. They're there for you, brother. So anyway, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. Have you a great evening, and we look to have you back on the show very soon, man.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Hey, it's up, brother. Take care.
Take care.
Alrighty, guys. That was Built for LA. What a cool guy, man. That was a lot of fun having him on. Once again, spur of the moment kind of thing. Gotta love Twitter, right? Or X. But I'm glad he was able to join us. Awesome segment. And, well, there you go. Well, oh my gosh, we're starting things off with a bang, man. What a great way to start it off. But coming up next, we got that Bird Gang. That's right, y'all. Starting off NFC Week with a bang. I'm loving this. So here we go. NFC Week has begun. It is NFC West Day right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. Day number 5 overall as we kick off NFC Week. Just finished up with the first team, the Los Angeles Rams. And, well, here we go, y'all, as we are ready to roll on. Heading on, kind of, I guess, southeast, if you will, over to Arizona, to Glendale, Arizona, to talk about those Arizona Cardinals with our very own Kieran Daly of AZ Sports Daily right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So there it is. Rams are finished. Cardinals coming up next. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking Cardinals after this.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are, second team of NFC Week. I still can't believe we got the whole AFC done last week. Every year I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's such a weight lifted off my shoulders getting all this done, but I really enjoy it. Gotta love it. Love what we do here, and certainly love doing 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days every single year. It's been a fun, 6-7 years we've been doing this, and it just gets better and better every year. So with that said, you guys, we just talked to Spuds about his Rams. You heard everything he had to say. And now, as I said, we're taking a trip on, east, really, if you think about it, to the desert. From LA to the desert of Glendale, where we talk about these Arizona Cardinals. What is going on? Is this team going to be improved? Are they just kind of stagnant? I don't know. There's a lot of questions surrounding the Arizona Cardinals right now, and well, let's see what we got. So, to help me talk about these Arizona Cardinals here today, I am so excited to bring him on. He is one of our newer hosts here on IE Sports Radio, and he has been kicking ass as long as he's been on these last couple of months. So glad he's been a part of it, and his first time here on 3-8 Divisions in 8 days, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be first of many. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming here, he is the host of AZ Sports Daily here on IE Sports Radio, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch him on Wednesdays. This man is awesome. And, well, I gotta say, just like he says in his drop, are you not entertained? Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Kieran Daly. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Hey. What's going on, Larry D? Hey, IE Sports Radio family. Okay, so let's dive right into it. The Arizona Cardinals. You know what? We should focus on the past just briefly before we focus on the present. What do you think, Larry?
Absolutely, man. We gotta take a brief look here at what happened last year. So let's just get it over with, rip it off like a Band-Aid, like I tell everybody, and talk about last season. So first things first, let's get into the year that was. 4-13, 1-5 in the NFC West. So the Cardinals start out with I wouldn't call it a lashing, but it was, it was a little lopsided versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, you lose to the eventual Super Bowl champions. Okay, that happened. Then you take on my beloved Raiders, and I don't know how this was a struggle for you guys, because everyone beats the Raiders pretty handedly. Regardless, this was a good fight for you guys, and you guys end up winning this one 29-23 in overtime. After that, you head on home to take on the Rams. It's a loss. Damn it. Okay, then you head on over to Carolina, and you get a victory. Cool. Then I'm so sorry you had to face a monster in Philadelphia. However, you guys hung, and you hung well with this team. Lost by just 3 points. However, it was still a loss. Go to Seattle, it's another loss. You go home, you face New Orleans, and you get a nice victory. High-scoring game, you get a victory. Is it turning around yet? Are we going to see a better team now? No. 2 losses. Yeah, exactly. Where's that buzzer at? I got to use it for the first time. The sound effect there. Not happening. You lose 2 in a row to Minnesota and to Seattle. They're both pretty close games. Okay, Cardinals fans are getting irritated. Actually, you've been irritated. He says now we're in November. But okay, you head to LA, you get a victory over the Rams. Can you do it in Mexico City? Where's that buzzer at? No, you can't. Yeah, not a good day for you guys, man. Just horrible showing in Mexico City as the Niners just beat you down. Then you head back home. The Chargers serve you up a 1-point loss. What a tough day. You go into the bye week. Let's regroup. Very late bye week, but let's regroup. Let's see what we can do. Let's come back strong. And, well, one more time. Where's that damn buzzer? Yes.
Patriots.
Because it was a skid from there. It was just downhill. It was 5 losses in a row, and that would just contribute to the 7-game losing streak to the end of the season. You would lose to New England, Denver, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and then finally, yet again, a blowout at the end of the season versus the Niners. Okay, now that we went through all that, and Kieran's like, screw you, I'm leaving the show. I'm not doing this ever again. Sorry, Kieran, but good sir, give me every raw emotion last year as a Cardinals fan.
All right. I get it. Let's see. You mentioned, rip that Band-Aid off. This was more than a Band-Aid. This was like Civil War, saw the leg at the end because you got shot in the knee area. This was not good. This was a massacre. However, optimistic as I am with and for the Arizona Cardinals, of course, I would probably say there was hope up until probably that Eagles game, and they played pretty well against them. Then after that, when we should have beat the Seahawks, although I will say Gino Smith surprised all of us. Everyone, I believe, if you even follow NFL, talk NFL, hear NFL once a week, Gino Smith was a surprise. So that one I'm going to let off. But really, when they played the next 2 games, the Saints and then the Vikings, It was close. On the Saints, they lost 42-34. That was October 20th, like you mentioned. Those are the two games where I was like, wait, hold on. Maybe, just maybe, we have something to fight for. And it was just, unfortunately, as we know now, it goes so much deeper than what the score reflected. There was so much turmoil and disarray internally that no wonder. I'm surprised they even got 4 wins to have such chaos within, and not in a good way of chaos, a bad way of chaos, of unorganization, and just the players doing whatever the hell they wanted to. And, old Cliff Kingsbury, he clearly didn't have much structure. He clearly thought, oh, well, I'm going to be the cool guy. I'm going to be the older brother to the little brothers and let them kind of do what they want to make sure they know I'm cool. That backfired tremendously. Adios. And so it was rough, man. After those games, the rest of the back season, I was surprised if we even got another single win, which, let's see, I think we had, one? No, we didn't. I'm looking right now. I just pulled it up. After that, nope. So, yeah, after that Vikings game, my hopes and dreams were crushed. And that's the past.
Well, Kieran, I just get the womp 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 sound effect because that's exactly what it was. I mean, just ouch. Last year, man, it was a kick in the nuts. You guys had a. It was, man. And honestly, Larry, even when Kyler Murray fell and got injured, I was like, okay, Colt McCoy's a great backup. He's probably one of the best in the league. You know what? We've got chance here. We've got chance. That did not work out either. It was, so I'm trying not to dwell on it. If we want to end on the past, review here real quick, I would say thank God Steve Keim is out, and I'm sorry to see Cliff go, but at the same time, you tried, you had your time, move on. That door closed for him. He made out like a bandit anyways, dude. So I don't feel bad for him at all. And now let's move on to now. And holy hell, Larry. Like, there's so much to talk about in such limited time, which we're limited to. No, I'll let you start it off. No, absolutely. But thank you for that. And no, there is a whole lot to talk about. Let's get into this offseason real quick, man. We'll start with the free agency and then we'll get into the draft. But dude, Kieran Daly, man, I'm glad you're here because there's no other Cardinal fan. I mean, well, Angela's awesome. We love Angela. But dude, I'm loving it because you're going to give this straight, man. Free agency. D-Hop. Okay, the elephant in the room. DeAndre Hopkins is going to the Titans. However, there were some more too. Chosen Anderson headed to the Dolphins. You guys have Marcus Golden. He's headed to the Steelers. Byron Murphy headed over to the Vikings. Cody Ford going to the Bengals. I mean, there were some departures. However, there were also some pickups. We take a look at some of these pickups here. Pat Elflein, I remember when he got drafted. Solid. You know what I mean? He's coming from the Panthers.
Right.
Guard, big boy. I remember him in the Combine. Solid player there. Yep. Kaiser White. Hey, solid player coming from the Eagles. Also, LJ Collier, this guy right here, I remember when he got drafted as well. Solid player, and he's coming on over from the enemy team, of course, the Seahawks. I mean, you guys did pick up some players. Dennis Daly, no relation. Just kidding. But,
nope.
Making his way
He's
over.
a brother. What are you talking about? You don't see the resemblance?
I know, right?
By the way, on him, he just got, for the first time so far in training camp, Daly and memory's not going to serve me right, but they got in a fight, and yesterday they were ejected from practice, and that is because of this new look. Like, there's no fighting policy, and I saw the Browns. Speaking of that too, I saw the Browns had to do a whole bunch more laps and sprints back and forth because they got in a fight. So I know that fighting is part of it. But I really like the energy and a little bit of a scuffle between these guys because it shows they're fighting not just for position, but for the team. So I'm okay with it, but at the same time, follow the rules. Otherwise, you ain't even practicing. So that actually happened yesterday.
That's crazy. I did not know that, but that is crazy. Well, you're right though. You need to respect whoever the new regime is, whoever it is. You gotta respect it. You gotta follow the rules. That's just what it is. We can't go do what we do at work and think we're gonna get away with it. And this is their job, so it is what it is. But crazy stuff there. But yeah, anyway. So Kieran, take it away, man. I just mentioned a few different names. There's more, of course. You can dive as deep as you want to. We got time. That's all right. Who are your biggest pickups and your biggest departures for the Cardinals this offseason?
Well, you mentioned is it Kaiser? I always forget how to pronounce it. But Kaiser White. Mm-hmm. Kazir White, and I actually am really looking forward to seeing this guy on the field. I've heard nothing but good things, but we've heard that in the past with players coming over too. But I feel that with the culture shock change and with these new faces, because let's face it, you just ran off a few of the names that I can't off the top of my mind think of right now, but a ton of people exited, way more than I anticipated. But that's why we're calling it a rebuild. But when the beginning of the season, I thought, or excuse me, the beginning of the offseason, when these things happened and these moves were made, I honestly thought that it was going to be, I was calling it a half rebuild because I thought maybe, this is more of a half rebuild. It's not an entire rebuild, not really. And so some of this has actually proven that wrong. It is more, if I had to look at it on a gauge from empty to halfway to full, like a fuel tank, I'm looking at now, this is a little bit of a 3/4 tank of a rebuild now. And so let's see how it all pans out. I love the defense that they put together, but again, we have to see it to believe it. Because and a lot of this has also to do with the youth. I was looking at our roster right now, and I understand it's 90 going down to 53. But right now, there are only a few veterans that are even double digits in the league. Aaron Brewer, Kelvin Beachum. We've got, obviously, Zach Ertz. Let's see. Hold on. Bear with me. We've got Colt McCoy, which we know. He's been in 14 years. Matt Prater, 17. And so there's a lot of veteran leadership, but there's not as much if you look at other teams across the board. There really isn't as much veteran. So I actually love this entire new look. I love the culture shock that JG's bringing. I was questioning it when it all happened. I was like, what? Why is this guy getting the job? I thought Philly fans were hating him. He didn't deserve to be a head coach. But then I thought, oh, no, Cliff Kingsbury didn't deserve to be a head coach in the NFL either. But, yeah, and we were proven right on that. But I'm really looking forward to it. Now, let's focus off of the defense real quick. And I love the starters on the line. Hold on. It's Paris Jr. Let's see. We've got
Me too.
Paris Johnson Jr. and Michael Wilson. Those two right there, I know for rookies, they're going to be starters. Okay. And then it's fair to say also the what's his name? Outside linebacker, BJ Ojulari. And then cornerback Garrett Williams. I think that those four guys will be rookies that are on the starters. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I think Michael Wilson, obviously, he's got the size, okay, and him and both from the Colts, Pascal. Those are the big body wide receivers and I'm happy they're here because as good as Hollywood Brown is and as good as Rondale Moore is, they're quick and Greg Dortch, number 83, he came out of nowhere off the practice squad. Then he was a special teamer and he killed it. And now all of a sudden, last year he was one of the best to grab the ball. This little man zipping in, zipping out. It's crazy entertaining. And I always say, I hear on the local station too, what a dorch instead of what a dork, because he's just very impressive. But those three guys are small. They're fast. They're good route runners, but they're small. They're short. And so I really love that they added Michael Wilson. And if you think about it, if you compare the Steve Keim draft analysis and his history of him drafting, we don't want to get into that. That's another nightmare. But if you compare it to him and what he's usually getting, and now you look at Monty's first year on the job, there's a huge difference. And I like that Michael Wilson is here. I'm not going to – we got to see it. We can't, toot our horn until we see it. But I like that. Also, the tight end, it's Geoff, but it's Jeff Swain. I think he's not even 30 yet. And he was a 7th-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys, so he's been around the league. But he just comes over from, as Monty knows him, Tennessee Titans. And, dude, this guy can block. He can block extremely well. So this is great news for our running game because it sounds and it seems like we're going to run first, then pass, which is great with the style of quarterback in Kyler Murray. Speaking of Kyler Murray, I'm going to give this to you too because I know we're talking about the present. We have to talk about that. He doesn't have a timetable yet. This is what he told the interviews yesterday. But he's taking it one day at a time. It's not even August yet, he says, and everyone laughed. Another thing was they asked Kyler about how do you feel about Jonathan Gannon? And he said he knows football. Everyone is getting smarter, and I don't feel behind at all. So I was glad to hear that from Kyler Murray because obviously his relationship with Cliff it seemed good in the beginning. And then obviously, as we saw on live television, him cussing at his own coach. Oh my gosh. So that you cannot do that. If you want to cuss, great. Do it after the game in the locker room. Yell at each other, get it out there. You do not put that on live television. Anyways, and then they asked Kyler too if anything, Kyler said, if anything, I gained more resiliency from having this injury. So ultimately, it made him more mentally tough. And that's good because that was a huge question going in, right? Kyler, can he handle it mentally? Physically, yeah, but he's kind of short and he gets balls batted down, but he's great when he scrambles. So I'm really curious when and if Kyler comes back. And my prediction is week 4, 5, or 6. I was saying 5 or 6 before, but when he's talking about week 1, I was like, what? No way in hell you're coming back week 1. And that'd be too soon. But realistically, let's give them first maybe 1, 2, or 3 games to Colt McCoy to start. But speaking of Colt, watch. If he has 2, maybe 3, especially 3 interceptions in one game, next man up, dude. It's time to play a tune, and that's Clayton Tune. This guy is another rookie coming in that has really, really mad skills potential for a starting quarterback. So even if, down the road, let's just say Kyler comes back, plays really well, then Cardinals play not so well, get those top 2 draft picks, go after Caleb Williams. Okay, fine. Go after Harrison Jr., the wide receiver, right? Is it Harrison Jr.? Can't remember it. Yeah. And now we have a complete rebuild, but with excellent talent with a new regime. I'm okay with that. I was against it before. I'm okay if that's how it transpires because it's a no-brainer at that point. But let's say Kyler still plays really well, and actually works out with the coaching staff. We still have those 2 draft picks. Get that other wide receiver, get him over here because he's a stud in the draft. Now we have an excellent lineup, better line to protect our quarterback. And I'm totally excited because all of this is happening because of the new culture and the new shock and the talent and the mindset of the GM for drafts and bringing in and trades. And you mentioned DeAndre Hopkins, and that's the last thing. I'll move on to you. You said get the elephant in the room. Well, the elephant has left the room, and I'm okay with that because now it's opened up the doors for like Michael Wilson and these other wide receivers. And who knows? We might have somebody that's on this list of 90 that completely surprises all of us. Almost every team has a player that randomly it shines and pops in. It could be Daniel Arias. He's a rookie, 6'3", 216. He's another big body. So either way. Oh, and before I let you switch over to you, Buda Baker. Hell yeah, finally deserved the raise. Let's go. And that guy's going to give it game in, game out. That's my next damn jersey.
I love how you bring up at the very tail end of that. First things first, I agree with everything. I love what the Cardinals got going right now. This is something new we haven't seen in a long time from the Cardinals. I love this. Everything, the accountability, everything is there. But Buda Baker, seeing this guy in Hard Knocks last year, seeing his passion, it's obvious because I'm a Pac-12 guy. You're a Pac-12 guy. The Pac-12 is probably going to disappear this year. I'm just kidding. Hopefully it doesn't. But
it's scary.
I know.
Yeah.
Please, come on, SDSU and Fresno. Get your crap together, I guess. Boise, you want to come here? Come on, anybody? Gosh,
it's going to be money, man. It's going to be money. It's going to be money. That sucks.
What do you call it? Yeah, NAU? Jax, you want to play? I'm just kidding.
Seriously. No, thanks.
Seriously. I don't know what to do at this point in time. My stupid Trojans and our stupid rival UCLA thinks it's cool to leave. But anyway, yeah, I am forever pissed off at the Trojans for this. But anyway, regardless, check it out, man. You guys brought aboard some great talent. And personally, this Cardinals team just needs that locker room, that mentor leader style. And honestly, Buda Baker he's the guy. I love his passion. I remember seeing him at Washington. He was a leader then. The guy is a monster, and he absolutely 1,000,000% deserves the pay. He is a great athlete and a great leader. So yeah, I completely agree with that. But all right, so go ahead.
I was going to say the thing about the money is it was actually very fair because he was already on a 2-year contract at this point, and he was already making a guarantee, I think 13.1, and that was like what the 4th or 5th highest paid safety in the league.
Yeah.
So he was already in a good position. That's what was nice about it. They didn't add on 4 years or 2 more years to make it 4. They kept it the 2-year agreement. They gave him a boost. Here's a couple million incentives. Here's a guaranteed $300,000 for this. Here's another, like they chunked it up, which was really smart. And I feel like Steve Keim would have just said either we'll see you later or here's another $10 million, and it would have been damaging for us going forward. So I think they found a happy median. And Buda Baker, when he came back, he told to the cameras on day 1 of camp, and not verbatim, I can't remember. I mentioned it on my episode last week, but he basically was like, I hear a lot of rumors. Just watch. Look at the jersey I'm wearing. Like, in other words, I'm here, shut up, and watch me play. And I love that, even though he's the one that started the rumors in a way, which is ironic because of the situation. But again, that was business, so I'm not going to give him shit for it, even though on my episode I bring in the Godfather now. And I'm going to bring in the Godfather character for every single time a contract, whether it's an Arizona team or another team. If I totally disagree with it, never mess with the family.
I love it, brother.
I love it.
Me too, man. So here we go, man. You mentioned already the draft, so we didn't got to get into it, man. Paris Johnson Jr., total steal. Great stuff. I'm glad you got him. I mean, it was a steal. He was going to go high anyway, but great pickup there out of Ohio State. 2nd round, BJ. I never can pronounce his last name, but he's BJ.
Yeah.
Ojulari.
Ojulari.
He is a
And
monster.
then once I break it down in those 3 sections, I'm like, okay, Ojulari.
It's easy. Okay, good. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. BJ Ojulari. I like that. Linebacker out of LSU. I mean, Garrett Williams, DB out of Syracuse. You already named all these guys, but just great stuff. Michael Wilson, you know him as well as I do. Pac-12 guy out of Stanford. John Gaines, another guy out of the Pac-12 at UCLA. So, I mean, good pickups here. Lots to be excited for. But let's get into this year. So, this team, this season, okay, the NFC West has its work cut out for it. Not only do you got to face the rest of the NFC West, which the Rams, what are they doing? We'll see what they're doing this year, but, we'll get into that in a little bit when you stick it to them. As for the Niners, I mean, they're the damn Niners. They're as strong as ever, and, well, beating them's... But then again, it's a rivalry. So, I mean, anything can happen at any given time, any given Sunday, even if it's not a rivalry, the team that wants it more. So, and the Seahawks, they got a lot going on over there right now, too. They're usually always competitive. They are, I don't know, it's just a very good division to watch, the NFC West, because it's always exciting. So, okay. Now we get into the NFC East, if I'm not mistaken. You guys have the NFC East this year with the Eagles at the tail end of the season. That's a damn good football team. The Cowboys, they're pretty solid too this year. The Giants, I mean, I know Saquon and everything like that going on right now, but will they be good again? Well, they surprised the crap out of all of us last year, I think. But, that was pretty crazy. And then, of course, the Commanders, they have a very good defensive line, but what else do they have? So, I mean, we'll see. Then we talk to... Then we take a look at the other division, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is the AFC South? No, that can't be right. I see it. The AFC North this year. I see the Steelers on there, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. So, you're taking on the NFC East and the AFC South. There's a few outlier teams in there. You're also going to worry about that NFC West in there as well. So, looking at the schedule, what are your realistic expectations for your Cardinals this year?
Good question. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. That's not too far-fetched. We really don't know clearly, but that's the obvious. A lot of people, pretty much everybody, I mean, look at nationally, they're putting the Cardinals not even on a list of tiers for the entire NFC. Like I talked about a few episodes ago on my show, like I could not believe what I saw was posted out there in the world. Like they literally put every logo of every other NFC team in a tier of 1 through 4, and they didn't even put a 5th tier with just the Cardinals. They left it off the list. That's so disrespectful. But I kind of like it. I kind of like the underdog mentality. I kind of like hey, everyone wrote us off, but we did right back, as he says. And so I think that it's going to be actually better. Don't get me wrong. There's no way. Oh, I shouldn't say there's no way. It's highly unlikely that they are even contenders at all for postseason. But if somehow, some way, that would be absolutely a miracle. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that would just be tremendous. So let's get back down to reality. And my realistic prediction is they're going to probably get 1 or 2 more wins than they did last year. I think they're going to come in and end the whole season with 5 or 6 wins. It's and that's I'm being overzealous, and I understand that. And a lot of people, the moment they hear me, they go, "No way, no way." Well, those people usually don't really look at this team inside and out. They really don't. They don't watch the body language, the facial expressions. And now with training camp, I've seen videos of them actually doing it and listening. JG was actually working hands-on with players. I can't even remember I've ever seen an Arizona Cardinals coach do that, except for maybe Bruce Arians, and he wasn't moving around much because obviously big guy, and older. But like JG was actually in the field moving the steps, mimicking, showing Isaiah Simmons and showing another player. I didn't get the number, but like that is so cool. I believe that with this whole culture change, and these players are going to play their ass off. They're going to be grateful to be even on the damn team to begin with. It's going to be kind of like the replacements. Remember that? Falco?
Yeah!
Okay. It's going to be a little bit of some replacements action. Okay. That was a great movie. Great example. I want to take Remember the Titans and the replacements, and I want that team combined on a professional level with the Arizona Cardinals. I want that mentality. I want that every day. Like there is no tomorrow. If they have that mentality, there is no tomorrow. And this game right here is a Super Bowl, even if it is against the Giants on September 17th, or the Cowboys on the 24th, or the Commanders, as you say, September 10th, which, by the way, did you see that they're talking about, should we change the name back to the Redskins, or should we change the name again? Holy hell, let's not start that again. But anyways, I'm getting off on tangents, as I always do. But and by the way, speaking of that, I said it years ago when they changed the name, they didn't know what they were going to call it. Why didn't they just call it the Washington Warriors? It already has the W. It has somewhat of that same closeness to the Native American thing, but that's maybe what they wanted to get away from. Okay, understood. But Warriors, then if you can't say the Warriors, then Golden State. Sorry, you got to change your name for the NBA. Anyways, sorry, tangents. I think 5 or 6 wins. It's not going to be easy, bro. It's not going to be easy. They're going to have a lot of struggles. But until we actually see it, and I'm not talking preseason, I am optimistic that they can surprise us. And I know they're going to surprise us. They're not going to be less than 4 wins. There's no way. I do not see that happening.
No, they got me saying it. The Cardinals this year, man, this team has a lot going for them, and I love it. I love the optimism. I love the excitement. And really, this team, I love these other replacements. It's funny, I once saw on Amazon a Falco jersey, and I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to wear. No, but then I realized I was once related, because the way I like to play football, I was once related to the crazy cop guy, the linebacker. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Yeah, you want the ball? Yeah, get the ball. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And then go out there and get the ball.
That's Jon Favreau.
The guy's amazing.
Jon Favreau. That's who it is. That's the actor. He's also the reason for Iron Man and a lot of the Marvel stuff too. He's actually really talented.
You know
and
what?
He's friends with Vince Vaughn. He's like one of Vince Vaughn's best friends. But his character in that movie is hilarious. Dude. Get the ball. Get the red shirt. Get the red shirt. Or no, don't get the red shirt. Don't get the red shirt. Yeah.
Don't get the red shirt. But I was related to that one time in college. It's kind of funny because that's exactly how I play the game. Just meaner than hell. So I love it because I don't know his character's name in the 56, but I would totally rep that jersey. If I could do that on Amazon, totally. I would totally buy that jersey. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
Okay,
but they are going to play hard, and it's the unknown. I mean, and then let's talk about the NFC. Do we have time? Let's talk about the Rams and the Seahawks and the Niners, just real quick.
We are because we are here at the very tail end of it, and we're going to get into a little segment we like to call "Stick It to 'Em." You could be nice and respectful. You could be mean and ugly. You could be a mixture of the two. You can get crazy, not too crazy, but have fun with it. Let us know. You guys told us all about the Cardinals this year and how you think they're going to do Now, let us know how you think the rest of the NFC West is going to do, and it's okay to sprinkle a little bit on top and let us know how you really feel about those teams. So without further ado, Kiernan, stick it to them.
Okay, so the Cardinals, yeah, it's the unknown, and I'm just because I'm not going to be biased, okay, but every time they play the Seahawks, every game to me is a Super Bowl between those two teams. That day is a Super Bowl. So on October 22nd, it looks like, is our Seahawks game that we played the first time. Then we play them the last game of the season, January 7th. A lot's going to be it's unknown right now. But honestly, I feel that if you rank from first to fourth, I think that the Seahawks will come in at probably 2. The Niners are going to be coming in at number 1 as long as their quarterback situation is figured out. But let's face it, it's the Niners, man. They have so much depth. And they no matter who's the quarterback, they can run down your throats and defense get interceptions. So that's not a team to look at, to overlook. So I'm being very realistic, even though I don't want to be. I'd rather say the Cardinals are first, but that's not going to happen this year, I don't think. If I do, shock the world, folks, shock the world. But the Seahawks, they'll be probably third, second. The Rams, I think, will be third. Cards will be fourth in that division. And then, of course, on top, like I mentioned, the Niners. That's just my prediction when it comes down to the end of the season. I'm not going to go over the wins and losses, but that's the bottom line right there. And the Rams, they're I don't know, is Sean McVay done? People are saying he's done. I don't think he's done. He's not that old. So maybe he's done in L.A. Maybe this is the year that's going to be a make or break for him as a coach. We'll see. Stafford, he's fragile, man. He's also at the tail end of his career. So how is he going to get the ball out if he's falling apart? So I don't know how that's going to transpire. But their defense, they just lost Ramsey as well. So he's already injured. I don't know if it's season ending. I don't think it was. I think it's just they're playing it safe. But if he's out, they're screwed in the secondary. Like Ramsey's very talented, as much as I dislike him. And because it's an LA sports team. So Seattle and LA. Nope. And then that leaves the Niners. I've always had a lot of respect for the Niners, unless they're playing the Cardinals, of course. So I'm not too hard on them, but I feel that's the way I feel about that. Gino Smith's probably going to have a really good season, but I don't think he's going to have as good of a season as he did last year.
Well, there it is, man. Good and respectful, good route. The man knows his football. He even put his own team in the basement, but at the end of the day, there's so much to be excited about if you're a Cardinals fan, because this team is, if this team can stay on this track right now, yeah, watch out in a few years. We're going to start seeing that Cardinals team that I was so bummed because I picked them on my birthday, February 1st, 2009, where Larry Fitzgerald scored that late touchdown, broke into the end zone, and then all the Cardinals' hearts were broken with that Roethlisberger to Santonio Holmes, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the Super Bowl, right? That was that was us being the guinea pigs for the rest of the NFL going forward forever for touchdown review. So I guess you're welcome, everybody. But I hated that we had to be the guinea pig. Why couldn't Steelers be the guinea pig?
Right.
Anyways.
Seriously. No, absolutely. That was so rough. And I'll tell you right now, it was it was such a great, and I'm talking about great season for you guys. This team can return to that, but they got to stay where they are now and keep it going. So with that said, Kiernan, it has been amazing, good sir. I thank you so much for being on today's show. Final thing, man, give all the plugs you can give. Let everybody know where to find you, where to find your show, website, all the good stuff, man. Let the Cardinals fans know.
Yep, you bet. We're on every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on IE Sports Radio. You can find us on any of your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of the platforms. It's AZ Sports Daily. That's AZ Sports Daily. And you can find us on Twitter at AZ Sports Daily, IE. Message me, and we'll get your answers. And just so you know, coming up this year, we'll have a fantasy football segment and also a sports betting segment. So tune in. I don't have the dates for that launch, but they'll be on there with special guests that know what the hell they're talking about.
Okay, so I was muted briefly, and I couldn't get back to the page quick enough, so unfortunately. But alrighty, man. Well, hey, thanks again for being on today's show, brother. It has been so much fun. Definitely look forward to having you back on the show very soon. And thanks again for everything, man. So there it is. That will do it. And hey, man, like I said, during the season, I look forward to having you back very soon. So thanks again, brother. I appreciate you, and have you a great day, man.
You bet, Larry. Same to you. And I'll be going to a lot of games, including training camp, and I'll have a lot more to talk about.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun, brother. Well, we look forward to having you back soon, man.
Take care.
All right, man. Take care, man. All right, you guys. That was Kieran Daly, man. I got to show him some love. That was awesome. Always great talking to that guy. When we get back, well, we are going to be getting on in. We're just scooting along here in the NFC West. We finished up with the Rams, just finished the Cardinals. When we get back, we are talking Seahawks. We're going up north to talk about those Seahawks, you guys. So, you're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC West, NFC Week, of course, starting off the kickoff of NFC Week. Day number 1 for the NFC West, show number 5 throughout the entire series. So much to say, what a mouthful. But anyway, this is me, our boy Larry B. When we get back, we're talking Seahawks after this.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people.
All right. Welcome to AZ Sports Daily. I'm your host, Kieran Daly, bringing the heat to Arizona sports. There's no discrimination here. We're going to talk about every sports team, professional and college. The show is all about you, the listener. I'm here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? It's going to be fun, high energy. You may not agree with what I say. That's okay. Let me hear you. Let's talk about it. Join me every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on AZ Sports Daily. That's AZ Sports, D-A-L-E-Y, and at IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Oh, here we are. We have talked about those Rams in LA. We headed southeast-ish over to Glendale, Arizona to talk about those Arizona Cardinals. And, well, now we are headed all the way up to the Pacific Northwest to talk about the Seattle Seahawks. My goodness, this team has so much to talk about because it is my goodness, it's crazy how trippy this team really is. They have had some really huge years in the last decade. They've hit some lows for sure. They now are Russell Wilson-less for the second year, I believe, and Gino's there. And, well, is he going to continue to be the guy? Pete Carroll, the oldest coach in the NFL, he seems like he's 25, the way he's running up and down that sideline. I mean, it's just a team that you love to watch. Defense is usually always a solid defense, but this is a team that you never know what you're going to get. That's the craziest thing. Every season, you never know. They're either going to be really, really good, really bad. I mean, they could be somewhere in the middle, but this is one team that is in my opinion, one of the most unpredictable teams in the NFL. And, well, to help me talk about these Seattle Seahawks here today, I'm glad to welcome them for the first time. This is going to be cool. I love first-timers. So here we go, y'all. Welcome me for his first time here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Seahawks today. What's going on? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I mean, I'm really interested in this type of stuff. Just want to talk ball about the Seahawks.
Hey, and that's what it's all about. So we definitely appreciate you being here. Kind of crazy. Just like Built for Rams earlier today, this show was like running on, like, it's crazy. I had 2 kind of cancel on me in the last, like, 24 hours. So I'm like scrambling for fans like last time, trying to, and I already said this about the Rams earlier in the segment, but I just want to thank you again. I reached out to you last night and you were like, I could totally do it in the morning. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So thank you so much for being clutch and for making this show happen today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always interested in this type of stuff. Love to talk.
Let's do it. So, alrighty. Well, first things first. Oh my goodness. Last year was just a weird one. You guys 9-9 overall, 4-3 in the NFC West. And let's go ahead and just recap the season. So you get a victory over Denver to start things off. Sweet. Good game, good football game over your previous quarterback, Russell Wilson, and then you kind of went on a skid. 2 games you fall to the Niners and the Falcons. However, you come out, have a very high-scoring game versus Detroit, get a nice victory there. You drop one to the Saints, get a 4-game win streak last year from the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Giants, and the Cardinals again. Kind of cool there. You would lose to Tampa Bay in Germany, interestingly enough, as a first Germany game there. Going to the bye week, come back out. Took a loss to my beloved Raiders. I can't believe we won a game. Just kidding. But, you get a victory. We get a loss there in overtime at home versus the Raiders. Then you come back out, head home to L.A., and get a victory over the Rams. And then, again, the Seahawks just have another rough go, dropping 3 straight to the Panthers, the Niners, and then the Chiefs, the eventual Super Bowl champion Chiefs. But you finished off the season pretty good. A nice victory over the Jets, an overtime victory over the Rams, and you'd head to the playoffs. Unfortunately, those playoffs would be short-lived as you fell 41-23 to the Niners, and that would be the end of the season. Give me every raw emotion last year throughout the season, especially the ending there, because that was kind of a tough one, as a Seahawks fan.
Yeah, I mean, starting week 1, going against Russell Wilson at home, everyone super hyped about that game. We won that game. It was close, but we won. Thinking we're unstoppable. Our defense played really well. Offense, we didn't really use tight ends much with Russell Wilson. He chose wide receivers over tight ends to throw to. But Gino Smith, I think every touchdown pass in that game was to a tight end. So we were like super excited. Then we go against the Niners and just put an absolute dud. DJ Dallas, he threw an interception at the goal line. Our running back in like a 4 running back play set is really weird. And that game is really bad. Defense is horrible.
It was.
Offensive line couldn't stand against Nick Bosa. Fred Warner is just destroying us in the run game. It wasn't a good time. Then we go to the Falcons. Falcons, Tariq Woolen, he had his first pick, and we started to see something from us, like the emergence. Our offense played pretty well, but we just could not stop the run. And this is when, stopping the run, like we noticed our team cannot stop the run, and kind of stayed that way the whole season. So, yeah, Falcons is a close one we lost. Then I think it was Lions next. Lions is an absolute shootout. I mean, we put like so many points up. Rashad Penny, I believe, got injured that game or the next game, but he had a really nice game. Our offense putting up tons of points. Then next game, the Saints, Gino Smith, he had really nice throws to Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett, I think 2 touchdowns, Tyler Lockett, like 35, 40 yards, and some beautiful throws. You've probably seen the clip somewhere. But our defense, again, just could not stop the offense. We can't be relying on our offense to put like 45 to 50 points up every game. If our defense is allowing 45 to 50 points a game.
You gotta
And
stop them.
yeah, it was the rough patch. But the next 4 games, we had a really strong defense. The defense is like really good. Turns out, like Pete Carroll, we tried something new with our defensive line at the beginning of the year, and it didn't work. So we went back to what we were doing before for 4 weeks, and we stuck with that, and it worked pretty well. And that was good. Then we went against Tampa. And Tampa, they absolutely destroyed us in the run game. This is with, I think, Leonard Fournette, who was out at the time. And they had, like, no run game, and their running back at, like, 120 yards or something. Absolutely destroyed. And our D-line was just not capable. Then the next 2 games, offense kind of stuttered a lot. I think, actually, the rest of the season, the offense stuttered. Even Tampa, but the rest of the season, the offense stuttered. The defense was also not too good. It was mediocre, but it just wasn't enough. And then we skipped a few games, all pretty bad losses, except the Rams we beat in the middle somewhere, but like Panthers and Niners and Chiefs, like pretty bad losses. And then we get to, I believe it's like the Jets. Like, that was Geno Smith's revenge game, 4th revenge game. Like, the Giants, Jets, Chargers, and, yeah. He won that game. That was a pretty nice game. Our defense played pretty well. Then we get to the Rams. We had a nice Quandre Diggs interception in overtime, which saved us the game, or else we would have lost and missed the playoffs. Thank you, Lions, of course, for winning that game against the Packers for us. Then the Niners, looking at the end score, it looks really bad. But if you're actually watching that game up until halftime, it was like 17 to 18. We were only down a point. Then after halftime, everything just fell apart. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't stop them. Like, Tariq Woolen was having pretty bad plays. He's getting bean coverage a lot. That kind of ended our season. But I think after that, we knew our team was pretty special. And, it's a first year. Traded Russell Wilson away. We have these rookies who just balled out. We just need to build on that in the offseason, and we might get somewhere.
You hit it on the head. That was a great analysis. My goodness, hit the applause button for you. That was great analysis there of last season. Just what a roller coaster. But hey, you know what? You finished 500 overall, 9-9. Let's see what this team can do this year. This is like I said, it's crazy. You never know what you're going to get with the Seahawks. But getting into free agency, okay. We start things off. Bobby Wagner's coming home. He was there years ago. He made his trip around a few teams. He headed on over to L.A. He's actually from Southern California. And, headed on back now to Seattle. He's going to be playing with the Seahawks this year. Pretty cool he's coming back. However, Poona Ford, he's on his way to the Bills. Rashad Penny, remember when you guys drafted him? He's on his way to the Eagles now. Quentin Jefferson, another guy. Well, he's on his way to the Jets. Another pickup, though, Devin Bush from the Steelers on his way to the Seahawks. Al Woods, however, on his way to the Jets. I mean, once again, there's a lot of moving pieces. Players moving here, going there, pickups, departures. Mario Edwards is actually coming on over from the Titans. So, once again, big pickups, departures in there. But talk to us, Seahawks, today. Let us know who are your biggest pickups and your biggest departures of the offseason in free agency.
Okay, our biggest guy we got was definitely Draymond Jones. I believe the biggest contract we've ever handed out to a outside player. I think last year we beat that record with Shannon Nwosu's like $10 million a year. This year, Draymond Jones is like $17 million a year. That was crazy. No one is expecting that because during Pete Carroll's tenure, we've really been like cheap in the way we spend free agency, getting veteran players like close to vet min. So, I mean, it's really surprising there. And we got a lot of losses on the defensive line. We've completely made it over. Last year we had Shelby Harris, Poona Ford, Al Woods, Brian Monet. Those are like our main starters. And Poona Ford, like you said, to the Bills. Al Woods and Quentin Jefferson to the Jets. Shelby Harris, he's unsigned and he just visited with the Broncos, so he'll probably re-sign with them. Then you have Brian Monet. He tore his ACL, I believe, late in the season, so he probably won't be here for most of the season. So we've completely redone the defensive line, and that started with getting Draymond Jones in free agency, and he'll be probably the best defensive lineman we have for the next few years.
And that, I can totally agree with that. You guys have, it's there. The defense is there. Really, it's just putting together on the offense. Let's see what you guys can get. So, taking a look here at this, at the draft now, we can head on over into this draft was something else. We can take a look at let's take a look. So, overall, in the first round, Devin Witherspoon. Okay, let's just be real. The Devin Witherspoon is awesome. This was a huge pickup out of Illinois. The guy is a stud coming out of college, and once again, you haven't quite been the Legion of Boom in a while, so they're trying to rebuild that nasty secondary, and this guy, hey, he's a great start. Also, you have another first-round pick in Jackson Smith-Njigba. This guy was wanted by so many teams coming out of Ohio State, and my goodness, now you guys have one of the nastiest receiving cores. I love what you got going on. You're giving Gino weapons and weapons and weapons, and I love it. In that second round, Derek Hall, also outside linebacker out of Auburn, solid player there. Next up, Zach Carbonet. This another guy. I'm a Pac-12 guy myself, so you have running back UCLA here out of UCLA, solid player, and I like what you guys got going on. Anthony Bradford, guard out of LSU. I mean, there's some solid players. Even Cameron Young, a guy that I think would have went in the second round, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State. There were some later round players, but you can get into those if you'd like. However, go ahead and talk to us about the draft. What did you think? Do you think they did pretty good overall? What do you think these guys, are they going to be immediate impacts? Are they going to be practice teamers, backups? Where do you think these guys are going to also contribute to the team? So kind of a two-part question there, but overall, what do you think about the draft this year for the Seahawks?
Yeah, I think we really built on our elite draft class from last year. We had tons of guys last year who played for us. We had five, I believe, starters last year's draft class. This year, I think we can have probably 5 again. We have Devin Witherspoon. And right now, our cornerback room is so good. And, we have so much depth there where, everyone's playing as a starter, on first-team defense, against Gino Smith in the first-team offense, where we don't even know where to put Devin Witherspoon, whether we put him in the slot or the outside corner, because we have Tariq Woolen, obviously, he's not going anywhere. But we have Mike Jack, who we actually did an interview with, and he has, per Pete Carroll, had the best training camp. He also had the best mini camp of any player on the Seahawks, so he's not letting go of that job. And yeah, we talked to him. He's really embracing the competition. He knows that there's a lot of new faces, but he's just showing what he can do, and he's always going to help out everyone. And I really don't think he'll let go of the job. So I think Devin Witherspoon fits in nickel. And then similarly on offense, we have Jackson Smith. He's also going to be a slot receiver. See, a lot of people outside the Seahawks see Jason as a guy who's going to more take away targets from DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and their protection's going to go down. But we, as Seahawks fans, see Jackson. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to take away double teams from DK Metcalf, because DK Metcalf, he's double teamed every play of the season, and Tyler Lockett even was double teamed so much that it was just unbearable, and the people who weren't double teamed weren't good enough to break away and take those double teams off him. So I think that's where Jackson comes in. Derek Hall, if you guys knew, we drafted Boye Mafe, another edge last year, second round. He was pretty good. He's more we're developing him. But Derek Hall, he should be a pretty immediate guy as a third or fourth edge, just rotating in. Zach Charbonnet, people kind of hated that pick, same way they hated Kenneth Walker last year, but Kenneth Walker turned out just fine. He's a big play guy. Zach Charbonnet, he's more of the I'm going to go get those 2-3 yards we need for a first down rather than Kenneth Walker usually likes to use the speed and take it outside. Then we traded away a third-round pick to the fourth. And then fourth round, we got Anthony Bradford. He'll be competing with Phil Haynes to start. Cameron Young, he's going to be our only nose tackle, I think, except we moved Jaron Reed, who we signed in free agency, former Seahawks, to nose tackle. But Cameron Young will probably be starting as well. Then fifth round, we got Mike Morris. He'll be rotating in at defensive line, but I don't know how much he'll start, but we don't have too many players there, so he might start. We have Olu Watimi. He also be fighting for the center job with Evan Brown, who was on the Lions last year, played pretty well at center. Then you get sixth round, you get Jarek Reed. I also did an interview with his coach. Lobos and stuff. From what I've heard, he's really impressing so far, and he's ready to shine. And he's adding a lot of depth to our safety room, which has had lots of injuries in the past. Jamal Adams, Contra Diggs. Then you get seventh round, Kenny McIntosh. I mean, some projected him to go as early as like the third or fourth round. Somehow we got him in the seventh round. This guy can just catch. He can run. Like, he's a monster with the ball in his hands. And right now he's showing out in training camp with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet sidelined with injuries. But overall, like, if our rookies can impress how last year's rookies did, like, people aren't really expecting it, but we might be closer to Super Bowl or at least championship contention than other people think.
I agree. No, and that's why, once again, this team is so they're special. It's so crazy to think. Once again, that wide receiver core alone is going to be amazing. I love how you talk about the double team with Metcalf. I mean, you're so right. They're going to relieve so much off of him. This is going to be a very hard offense to stop this year. And once again, people are going to give the props. People are. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, this team has a very good foundation. And personally, I feel the Seahawks, nobody should count this team out. They're so good. They're solid. So it's just up to what they do on the field. So, okay, so we got through free agency, the draft. Now let's go ahead and get into this season. Let's go ahead and talk about what you guys got. So, of course, you're taking on your buddy old pals, the NFC West. And on top of that, this year, it looks like you are taking on the AFC North, and also you are taking on the NFC East. So it's the AFC North and the NFC East this year, with a couple outlier teams in there. So what do you think? We talked about all of that. We talked about last season, what you build and everything from last season. We talked about free agency. We just got into the draft right now. That's awesome. You have all these great interviews. Once again, can't wait for you to plug all your stuff at the end because you got some awesome interviews there. But what do you think? Just a realistic expectations this year. What are you as a Seahawks fan expecting from this team this season?
I think our floor, 10-7, one more win from last year. Because minimum, we've gone better. We had a new defensive coordinator last year. They probably adjusted the scheme and stuff. With Shane Waldron, all the weapons at his disposal, 3 tight ends, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. I think minimum is 10-7. And honestly, I'd feel pretty disappointed if we only got 10-7. Like, we have a ton of talent everywhere. I think the ceiling, the highest we can go, 13-4. Because and that's if we win most of our toss-up matches. You still have losses probably to Eagles, Niners, maybe Bengals, Cowboys, teams like that. But if we win against the Ravens and other teams, I think we can really get 13-4. 4 losses is literally just Niners, Bengals, Cowboys, Eagles. I mean, those are tough teams. We can lose those, but as long as we don't lose any other gimme games or toss-ups, which I think we have the better talent on our team than most of these teams, so we should be able to win those. But realistically, I think probably 12-5. I feel our team is really unpredictable, so we'll probably win against a team like the Eagles, but then lose a game against like the Commanders or something. That's just kind of how it is for us. We've always done that every year. I mean, last year we lost against like the Bucks, who Tom Brady and that team were struggling so badly, and we completely just could not do anything against them. But then at the same time, when we went against the Chiefs, our defense actually held them to like 20 or like 17 points for like 4 quarters, and then they got garbage time stuff. But it's just unpredictable. But I'm gonna say 12-5 losses to. I'm gonna actually say we don't lose to the Eagles, but we lose to like a team like the Giants. We lose against the Bengals, Giants, Cowboys. I think Niners once. We don't lose twice. And then maybe, like the Giants is your 5th team.
You know, that is a very realistic look because it's crazy. You know, this team, once again, people are not going to give their props, and then some people are. But when it comes down to it, it's true. It would be disappointing. Once again, I just keep on raving about that damn Seahawks. I mean, that damn wide receiver core, because you guys have so much talent there. So it's true. Seeing this team do bad would be very disappointing. I get it. It's a tough division. I get you got some, it's a rough schedule in a way, but overall, this is a very hard, this is probably one of my absolute hardest divisions to pick this year because, you guys are right in the mix. So yeah, very, very, very good stuff there, and well done. I love it. Once again, great analysis. I got to check your guys' stuff out because this is good stuff, So, okay. Last but not least, let's have a little bit of fun here and talk a little crap. It's fun. Once again, couldn't be your style, could be however you want to do it, but this is always a fun thing to do. A little segment at the end we like to call Stick It To Them. Now, you can be nice and respectful. You can also be, mean and nasty, however you want to do it. But let us know. You already told us right now how you think the Seahawks are going to do this year. Cool. Now, let us know what you think the rest of the NFC West is going to do with the other 3 teams. And then, of course, if you want to sprinkle a little bit on top, that's completely okay. And let us know how you really feel about those teams. So, however you want to do it, have some fun with it. And, well, let's do this. Seahawks today, stick it to them.
Okay, we start at the bottom of the division. Rams and Cardinals, they... bottom 5 teams in the NFL for being realistic. Like Rams, they went all out, and they're relying on a lot of young guys who they just got to do stuff for them. And honestly, it's hard seeing them get anywhere. Aaron Donald, he had a really down year last year. I think he'll get back to form, but that offense is also has Cooper Kupp, Stafford, Akers, but it's not really a strong enough offensive line. They don't have too much talent there. Cardinals, Kyler Murray, he'll be missing a lot of the season coming from his ACL. New head coach, they lost J.J. Watt. They have a lot of deficiencies on that team. Buda Baker's not pleased. He came to training camp, but it seems like every year he wants to trade out. It's just their bottom, maybe 8 teams minimum. They'll be in contention for number 1 pick, but I wouldn't expect too much. I think they lose both games to Seahawks and Niners each. Then you get the Niners, probably top 2 team in the NFC. I honestly think we can beat them one time, but they have a lot of talent everywhere. But the one thing they don't have is a quarterback. Even Niners fans know that. Purdy, he's looked pretty terrible. Then again, he just came back, but he's looked pretty bad for reports from the Niners training camp. Trey Lance has always looked bad in training camp. He's really just a runner. He hasn't done much as a passer yet. Then you have Sam Darnold. He's on the Jets. Did pretty bad there. Panthers, he's rotating with people like PJ Walker. So, I don't know how much there is to him. He might do well in Shanahan's scheme, but I wouldn't expect too much there. It's their defense that is honestly the most worrying thing. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, even Charvarius Ward, he wasn't too special with the Chiefs, can look really good when you have a Nick Bosa, getting to the quarterback every play. But I think what really keeps that team in it every year is Shanahan. He really knows how to use his talent, and their scheme is like really good. It's one of the best in the NFL. I mean, even our scheme on offense kind of relates to it from McVay and, when they were on the Falcons like 10 years ago. But it's going to be a tough battle. The Niners, though, they're the team to beat. The Rams and Cardinals, I wouldn't even consider them like in contention for pretty much anything. They're just trying to get to the draft, get to free agency, hopefully get some talent on their team.
Well done. Well done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Seahawks today, just sticking it to them there. Well said, well done, and great stuff. Well, we have reached the end of this interview, but I gotta say, awesome analysis. Fans out there, you gotta love what you're hearing. Great analysis here from Seahawks today. So go ahead, let everybody know, where can they find you, the website, social media, anything you want to plug. Please let all these 12th men Seahawks know.
Yeah, first thing, we write like articles, like blog and stuff, usually interviews. We do that on link is seahawkstoday.substack.com. Substack is the place we upload them. Seahawks Today, our name. Then of course our Twitter is also the same thing, Seahawks Today. I think the @ is Today Seahawks, but same thing there. We post all our articles there. We always interact with the Seahawks community. We report a lot of stuff, really involved. We've got big recognition from players and people who go to training camps, actual reporters. So it's pretty big for us. But if you want to check us out, those are the two places you should look.
Well, please make sure you guys head on over. I'm going to as well. Awesome stuff, and I look forward to having you back on the show this season. That was a lot of fun. You certainly know your stuff, and that was a great interview. So thanks again. I appreciate your time today, and once again, we look forward to having you back on the show very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah, see ya.
Take care. All right, you guys. Once again, that was Seahawks Today. Great stuff there. You want to check out the website, guys. Once again, you're showing love. We love to cross-promote. You know what that's all about, guys. Anybody we bring on here, we always want to make sure we're promoting as well. And just awesome stuff. Give follows, show love, and, there you go. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for the Seattle Seahawks. We are 3 teams down now in the NFC West, and we got one more to go with those San Francisco 49ers. And I don't think it's any surprise who we have coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. She, of course, is the host of one of our shows on IE Sports Radio, one of the 4 co-hosts. It's Niners Jess, of course, from the East Coast Red and Gold. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So, you were listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, NFC Week Day 1, actually, and 8 Division and 8 Days. Day number 5. My goodness. Can't believe all these interviews. But it's awesome. It's been fun. So, you're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days. Right here with me, your boy Larry B. When we come back, we're talking Niners after this.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. They're coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Here we are, the final team of day number 1 of NFC Week, as we are talking the NFC West. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show so far. It has been a lot of fun talking about those Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks. But we gotta talk about last year's champ in this division. And I'll tell you, this team is nothing short of incredible. Hate them, love them. I mean, I heard one of my old teammates once say, I forgot the little rhyme, but red and gold until I'm dead and cold. I'm just saying, sometimes big shout out to David Aguilera out there, one of my old teammates from high school. But I just got to say, this team does things that did something last year that I don't know a lot of other teams can do. How do you lose your starter, use a backup after the season, lose him, get another dude who was Mr. Irrelevant in there, he gains tons of confidence, goes all the way to the NFC Championship, gets hurt, and now we're debating on putting McCaffrey at running back. However, we throw, healing quarterbacks in there at the time, couldn't get it done. And my goodness, the season comes to a close in what probably should have been a much closer game and possibly even a victory for them in the NFC Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a team that is as resilient as it gets. And honestly, I'm really excited to see what they do this year. Hopefully much more healthier than last year. Yeah, you know who it is, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time to talk about those San Francisco 49ers. And, well, here to help me talk about these Niners, I mean, I'm trying to figure out some awesome words for her here, but I don't think they're going to do her any justice. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know her as Jess. She is all the way from the East Coast, talking about her 49ers with her awesome crew every Wednesday. It's been Thursday recently, but they move around a little bit. It's all good. They have amazing interviews, and there's a good reason to move around. But, ladies and gentlemen, she is one of the hosts of East Coast Red and Gold, a Niners podcast that was built from scratch. That is, in my opinion, the best one out there right now. Check it out on YouTube and IE Sports Radio. And, of course, she is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer all the way from Jersey. However, Frisco is in her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the one, the only, once again, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, Jess! What's going on, Jess? How you doing today?
Hey, Larry, saving the best for last, I say.
We had to. I'm just saying, it had to be a thing,
Absolutely. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing the best I can. Thank you very much. How are you today, Jess?
Doing good.
That is awesome. I'll tell you right now, every day, every week when I check out the show, whether it's live or recorded on YouTube, or if I'm, cruising around and I'm checking it out and it's on the IE Sports Radio podcast waves on Apple Podcasts or wherever it may be when we upload the audio, I'll tell you, the show never ceases to amaze me. You have some of the best guests I've ever seen. You have an awesome crew. Big shout out to everybody too, by the way. Matt, Bex, and Ty, they are super cool. You have a great team over there. I mean, hey, we're all part of the same team here. And I'll tell you, you guys really do an amazing job. This last week, you guys, or I guess last week, whatever you want to call it, because we're, we're here on the following week, so I guess you could say 2 weeks ago. It was super cool, okay, seeing Buford on the show. Okay, starting guard for the Niners, and then this past week, legendary guard, all right, Sapolo was on the show, and these guys are just, they are awesome athletes. One of them, legendary, got to play with a lot of legends, and one of them, I can tell you right now, one day is going to be in that same category where he played with a lot of legends as well. And both those guys are pretty damn good themselves. It is so cool. You go above and beyond to find really cool guests. It's just, I mean, before we even start the interview, I just got to say, where's that applause button? Amazing job with the show. And yeah, East Coast Red and Gold is where it's at. Tell us really quick about this show really quick, about the history if you can, real fast, Jess.
Well, I appreciate that, Larry. We have a lot of fun doing it. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. I just, being on the East Coast, I just kind of had an idea to bring, an East Coast flair to the Niners world. And so, me, Ty, Maddie, Bex, we came together and we're just, we're killing it and we have fun doing it. And that's the main thing.
Well, I think that's an understatement, but you guys are destroying it. All right, I love it. I love what you guys got going. It's a great show, and honestly, if you're a Niner fan right now listening, go check it out. Trust me, it is just so worth the watch. They put a lot of work into this, you can tell. And hey, when it comes down to it, if you're a Niner fan, this is raw content. I love it because they're diehards. They're not afraid. They're not just rah. They're not afraid to call them out in certain things. They're not afraid to show their fandom. But at the same exact time, they're always going to be excited and positive. So it's a great show. Once again, awesome job, Jess. And, I remember, years ago when you were just a consistent guest on 3 and Out. And before you know it, you joined up with another podcast, and things didn't work out. Oh, who cares? Too bad, so sad for them. You created your own, and I'll never forget the day where you were like, "I want to be on IE Sports Radio." I was just so flattered, so happy, and I just But of course, the answer was going to be yes, and now you're thriving. You're on this network, and you're doing an amazing job. So once again, big shout out to you guys, and I think there's just the sky's the limit for the show.
Thank you, Larry. I really appreciate it.
Well, you are very welcome. So once again, y'all, on air here with the star. Well, just kidding. You guys all are, but with one of the hosts of the best freaking Niner podcast you can find anywhere. Let's go check it out. But let's get on into today's interview. Oh my goodness. This Niner team. Last year, Jess, I just want to throw this out there. 15-5 overall. You went 7-0 in the NFC West. Let me explain when we get to the playoffs. But 7-0 in the NFC West. Let's recap this past season, Jess, because it was special. You start off the year with a 19-10 loss to the Bears. Okay, the Niners suck. Everyone's that's it. It's over. You lost to the Bears. The Bears are actually going to win the Super Bowl this year. Everyone's reaction in week 1. The Niners are terrible. Okay, whatever. Okay, then you guys go smack the Seahawks. Okay, the Seahawks, whatever. Okay, then you guys lose in the weirdest game possible, 11-10. Defensive, but very awkward game. You lose to the Niners. The Niners lose to the Broncos. Okay, well, that's it. The Niners suck. Write them off. That's over. They're a terrible team. They're not going nowhere. They're overhyped. Okay, then you win 2 straight over the Rams and the Panthers. They're still overhyped. Whatever. Okay, whatever. Then you drop 2 straight to Atlanta and Kansas City. Told you, once again, overhyped team. Okay, then you defeat the Rams, go into the bye week. And how is this for being overhyped, Jess? You don't lose a single game after that. you destroy everybody. Okay, and these are some good wins, too. Okay, you guys really, there were some closer ones in here, but defeated the Chargers, the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City, and you guys, my gosh, La Ciudad de Mexico, man, you guys filled that stadium. There were Niner fans everywhere. That was crazy, but defeated the Cardinals. Defeated the Saints, defeated the Dolphins, defeated the Buccaneers, defeated Seattle, defeated the Commanders. Jess, honestly, I hate my Raiders. I hate them. I do. And I always say it. But for the first time, I think this whole series, I'm actually going to say something positive. I don't know how. I seriously couldn't tell you how. But we had that damn game. Completely. Just let it go. You guys fired when necessary, took your shot when it was there, and you won fair and square. But this was one game last year that I'm actually not really upset with the Raiders totally over, because we had that freaking game in the bag. Unfortunately, wasn't to be, but you guys would come out and win it 37-34. Everybody thought that you guys would destroy the Raiders, and honestly, we were winning that game, a lot of the game. But once again, you regrouped, and you made it happen in overtime. But I'll tell you, this is one of the only times last year that I'm actually proud of my Raiders. Okay, one of the only times that we fought a team of that caliber, that good. So anyway, defeated the Raiders, stayed undefeated, and then defeated the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, then you go into the wild card, knock off Seattle, 7-0 now in the NFC West. Defeat the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, man, that was a good game, but you defeated them. And then the NFC Championship. Oh, what a... I know. I'm sorry. We don't want to relive this again. I'm sorry, but they're close to you. You're not like you're next door to Philly or anything, but I will say they're a lot closer. Philly's a lot closer to you than San Francisco. But this game is where everything fell apart. Purdy gets hurt. There is nobody else to throw the football. What are we going to do? You're putting back in some of these quarterbacks who aren't fully healed yet. We're questioning if McCaffrey is going to get a go. He don't even know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. And the Eagles, well, they're the wrong team to have one of these days against, because they're going to make you pay. They blew you guys out. The season that was so promising ended in such a horrible fashion. The Eagles would go on the Super Bowl, barely lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'll tell you, this Niner team, as special as it was last year, and with this run, I think character-wise, Jess, this team was even more special. So, we get a little recap there. Jess, please tell us every raw emotion from last year as a Niner fan.
Well, it was tough going through the amount of quarterbacks that we went through. That's for sure, because from one to the other, it was like, okay, well, this game's coming up. Are we going to win this game? And I always try to stay positive all the time. But it was tough. And, and going into this season, we definitely faced a lot of adversity last year. So I think we're ready. Last year was a magical year. It unfortunately ended that way. But I feel that if Brock didn't get hurt, we probably would have beat Philly and go to the Super Bowl. And we definitely would have had a chance to beat Kansas City. And we would be sitting at, with our 6th Lombardi right now. But unfortunately, everything happens for a reason. But this year, high expectation. And I think we'll be ready to roll.
I'll tell you, Jess, you have the right attitude. You know this team. This is a strong football team, and damn it, they are here to play. So I'm telling you, character-wise, this team is insane. You know, some teams lose their starting quarterback, and, well, you know, okay, it doesn't to play for anymore. We lost, you know. But no, you guys go all the way down to who was Mr. Irrelevance. Okay, I'm just saying, Brock Purdy, and look at that. I mean, I still remember you guys' show titled Brock Party.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like, it was just crazy. It was crazy seeing this team. Like, the amount of no quitting in this team is insane. And honestly, the guys in this team believe so much. I'll tell you right now, one of them big defensive linemen, I guarantee you, when Purdy went down, they were like, screw it, coach, put me in. I'll get in there under center. I don't give a damn. Everybody seems like, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If too many of our guards go down, screw it. A wide receiver is like, I'll step up. I'll play guard. I don't give a crap if I'm 180 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of seems like it's that kind of football team where these guys give a crap and they're not just there for a paycheck. They're fighting for that. They want the hardware. And I don't know. This is one of the few teams right now that I seriously feel that they're starving and they have good camaraderie, and the Niners got something special going over there right now, Jess.
Yeah, we definitely do. You know, like I said, I think we're ready to roll, and you know, everybody, you know, the positive 49ers faithful think that this is our year. And I'm one of those people. You know, I know the NFC, I mean, the only other team, you know, you can say the Eagles, you maybe can say the Cowboys. The AFC is kind of loaded, you know, but I think we do have enough to, you know, if Kansas City makes it there again, I think we do have enough this time to beat them.
You know, Jess, that's definitely not something that I would listen to and be like, what? Like, no, you hit it on the head. It really is realistic. The Eagles, golly, man. I mean, they just added probably one of the best players we're going to see in a long time in Jalen Carter, destroying people right now. The veteran offensive lineman in training camp. I mean, this guy is a special talent. Of course the Raiders would pass up on him because we're the Raiders. Why do we want that? We don't want that kind of talent on our team. Anyway, Jess, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, though, the Philadelphia Eagles have half of Georgia's freaking roster from University of Georgia on there. I mean, they're going to be a very hard team to beat, but there is a team out there that can handle these guys. It would be you guys, because the Niners have a very strong roster. Let's get into that roster, Jess. So you guys had, or at least, you know, into the free agency for this past season. So tough ending, but it's okay. It's okay, because there were some pretty big pickups. There were some you know, departures as well. But we will get into all of that momentarily. So let's see. We have here the free agency chart. So I want to take a look at this. You guys would pick up Javon Hargrave from the Eagles. Talk about a monster from this Eagles team as well, defensive line. The dude is a beast. However, losing Jimmy Ward, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a pretty big loss, though. He's heading on over to the Texans. You guys would also pick up Cleveland Farrell from the Raiders, you know, first-round draft pick a couple years ago. You also would acquire Sam Darnold, got some depth there at quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, however, is heading on over to the Raiders. Ibukum, that's a tough one. He was a Ram. He was solid there. He was a Niner. He was solid there. Now he's on his way to the Colts. However, Matt Pryor from the Colts is heading on over to the Niners. Mosley, oh man, Mosley headed over to the Lions. McGlinchey, that's a little tough right there. Heading to the Broncos. Alshire headed on over to the Titans. I mean, there were a lot of pickups and departures, guys. I'm not going to get into every single one of them because it's a pretty big list here, but that's your job. Please let us know, who were your biggest pickups and your biggest departures for the Niners in this offseason?
I think our biggest pickups were Javon Hargrave and Isaiah Oliver at that nickelback position. Javon Hargrave getting in the middle of that defensive line with Eric Armstead, Drake Jackson on the outside, of course, Nick Bosa on the outside. He better sign his contract. But Javon Hargrave was a huge pickup. And then, with our secondary, like I said, Isaiah Oliver just coming in there and hopefully at that nickelback position and, having Coach Steve Wilkes, who's a secondary guru. I think our secondary is going to be magical this year, probably one of the better secondaries we've had under Kyle Shanahan. And as far as departures, I'm going to say Emmanuel Mosley. For sure. I know a lot of people think Jimmy Ward, but I think E-Man, before he got hurt, before he tore his ACL, he was killing it. He was all over, and losing him hurt a little bit, but I think our secondary will manage.
It's tough. It's true. I know. I even said it too, because Ward is pretty big, but it's true. Mosley, that's rough. But regardless, look what you guys got. I mean, I am a huge fan of Hufanga. Why? Number one thing, because he's, he is trained by Palmalu. I mean, come on. You can't get better than that. I'm just saying. But this is awesome. You guys still got Javarius Ward back there. I mean, there's still some solid talent. But it's true. Losing Mosley was pretty tough. But it's this 43 attack defense. I love it. The 43 is what I love. It is my all-time favorite defense to play in. It is the defense that I love seeing teams run. And especially, you guys go into that 42 look. And you got to have a flexible nickel. You have to have somebody that can be in your face. Let's go stop that run. If it were to happen, read reaction, read run first. But at the same exact time, you need them in coverage as well. And nickel, that's a very tough position to make. You're almost like a rover. So I like the fact that you have a lot of fluctuality. It's flexible. Honestly, this defense is very flexible. And seeing guys like Fred Warner, Greenlaw, these guys really have that flexibility to play. To be able to play this kind of defense, you need that. You need these 4 dudes up front to be nasty, and those 3 backers behind them to be even nastier. You're trying to get the secondary a little help, but at the end of the day, you're saying out of all of this, that's why a lot of people want to go with a 34 sometimes, because you can stuff the runs. It's easier. It's a guessing game. You don't know where the pressure's coming from one of the linebackers, depending on where you're lined up. But it's crazy because in a 43, you're giving it all away really a lot of the time. The blitz is easier to read, but at the end of the day, you're more secure. And I feel like you have the guys though that are there. You can count on Jackson to seal the egg. You can count on Bosa, who better sign his contract, to seal the egg. You know what I mean? You can count on your backers to be in their zones, and you can for sure count on your DBs to be where they are, to be where they need to be, regardless if it's man or zone coverage. I think you guys have the perfect players to play the 43 right now.
Yeah, I believe we do. And, and as I've said on my show, we had Robert Saleh, we had D'Amico Ryans, now we have Steve Wilkes, and I feel like we keep getting better and better. And I think the sky's the limit this year. We are the number 1 defense, but I think we're gonna, if you could exceed that, if that were possible, you know what I mean? I just think that this year the sky's the limit for this defense. And, we were up there in interceptions last year, and I think that number is going to increase this year.
Oh yeah, I am 100% in agreement with you, because once again, this is a special team. This is a good, very, very, very good defense, and overall, this defense is going to help carry this team for sure. The offense looks great on its own, but man, this defense is good. So let's get on over to the draft, because you guys had a very eventful draft. Oh my gosh, one of the most eventful drafts in the entire draft this year, Jess. You didn't have a pick until the 3rd round.
That's right.
But did you need anything? You didn't, because oh my gosh, your guys are stacked. So draft picks well spent, and there's not a lot to get to here. However, we can go ahead and talk about a couple of the guys that you did sign. One of them kind of funny because we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But you would sign in the third round. Okay, Jair Brown. This was a pretty solid pickup out of Penn State. Really good safety. I thought he was a second-round guy, honestly. He fell to the third. Cool. Good for you guys. Solid pickup there. Some good depth, in my opinion. I feel like there's going to be, he can definitely grow and get better. Behind, right now, who you guys got back there? Gibson, I think, at
Tashawn Gibson. Yep.
Yeah, free. So, where's he strong? Wait. Anyway, regardless, back there at safety. So, anyway, then you have Jake Moody. And I just so happened to chime in live one day when you guys were talking about Jake Moody. This was pretty funny. I love the conversation about Moody. But good stuff here. Really, really good pickup. Because it's true. You need a kicker. At the end of the day, you're going to need somebody. So, hey, this right here, it's insurance. Okay? It's insurance. And he can learn behind Robbie Gould right now, So, you guys have, this kicker from Michigan. Sweet. Cameron Latu. Okay. Another guy who I thought was going to go a little bit earlier. Now we're really in business. A solid tight end to add to all those tight ends. He is going to be a threat. Twin tight end sets are so real. To think what you guys' offense coordinator is going to want to do now. That you have this kind of talent. Robert Beal Jr., defensive end out of Georgia. Yeah. You guys got a monster there. I don't know how he fell that far, but, really, D. Winters, that is another huge pickup. Let's not forget, TCU played in the national championship this year. How did they get there? They got destroyed by Georgia, but how did they get there? This defense was solid. D. Winters is a monster. This is a very, very, very good pickup here in the 6th round. Also, Braden Willis, tight end out of Oklahoma in the 7th round. It's funny because we're talking about guys so late, but I feel like the quality here was great. Ronnie Bell, wide receiver out of Michigan, another receiver added to the mix. And then, of course, you guys will pick up Jalen Graham, linebacker out of Purdue. Okay, some of these guys maybe practice teamers. Some of these guys are depth. At the end of the day, I don't know who is going to step up and contest for a starting position. I would guess that, a lot of these guys are depth or practice teamers. But at the end of the day, honestly, Jess, there's some great quality in this draft. And the crazy thing is, you guys didn't have a first or a freaking second. So it blows my mind. What did you think about the draft this year?
I actually liked it. I was happy with our Jair Brown pick. I was happy with the Jake Moody pick. I know a lot of people weren't. But if we didn't take him there, Bill Belichick was swooping in and was going to take Jake Moody. So we were correct in our assumption that, there were probably like 5 or 6 teams that were going to come in there and take him. And we needed a kicker. We were going to move on from Robbie Gould. So now it's Jake Moody, it's Zane Gonzalez. Is that a competition? No. I think Zane Gonzalez is just upping his trade value. For a kicker needy team, but I like the draft picks. I even like the tight ends: Cameron Latu, Braden Willis from Oklahoma. George Kittle needs a tight end too behind him, and Ross Dwelly and Charlie Warner just aren't cutting it anymore.
And you're totally right. I think right now you guys added some great depth at tight end. These guys are going to be, they're young. They're going to get out there. They're going to be hungry, and I'm excited to see these guys play. And that's right. Moving on from Gold, look at it. Moody was necessary. So I liked it a lot. I think it's had a pretty good offseason. And, well, now it's about that time to roll on into this year because the Niners just have it. Whatever it is, Jess, they have it. This team is ready. Okay, so this year you guys are taking on, let's see here. So, of course, the good old NFC West, your guys' favorite division to love to hate, But on top of that, you will also be taking on, it looks like the NFC. Oh, this is awesome. I did not even notice this. So you guys are going to be taking on the NFC East. That's going to be fun. Oh, I'm going to have that circle. The Sunday, December 3rd, I'm having circled right now with the Eagles. Oh, that's going to be a good game. Okay, and
you and everyone else.
oh yeah, that's a possible NFC Championship preview right there. So, and it also looks like you guys are taking on the AFC South. Is that who I'm seeing in here? Because let's take a look here. Nope. So for sure it's the NFC East, and then yeah, look at that. Oh, it's the AFC North.
Yeah, the AFC North.
Oh, that looks like fun. Yeah, I saw 2 South teams in there. I was like, hey, but those are the outliers. So the AFC North. Okay, so the Steelers. Just pick at the answer. We'll see. You got them game 1, but they're still trying to figure things out. Then we take a look at continuing in the AFC North, the Browns. Deshaun Watson, how are they going to look with him now for a full season? The Bengals, you already know that this team got all the way to the AFC Championship last year, so they're, solid football team here. But, how will you guys look against them? We have the Baltimore Ravens, who, when healthy, my gosh, they're talented. So, very strong team. There's no more question about Lamar Jackson no more. He's going to be there, so, okay. We also have, once again, the NFC East. The Giants, well, no Saquon Barkley right now, but was last year a fluke? Are they going to be dominant again this year? What's going to happen with the Barkley contract? But how will they be when you guys face them? The Cowboys, that's a solid football team. They really are solid. They have a chance if they can somehow get over the Eagles. But they're strong. Of course, the elephant in the room, the Eagles. That is the cream of the crop. You guys beat them. You guys, I mean, seriously, it's the Niners are going to be extremely feared after if you guys were to beat them, just head up like that. I mean, so we look at these teams, the Commanders, and they're there. but what I will say is, looking at the schedule, Jess, and the couple outlier teams, and then of course, the rest of the NFC West. What are you thinking? What are your realistic expectations for your Niners this year?
Well, my realistic expectations is that we go 15-2.
I
Those are my expectations.
That's the funny part. Like, it's funny to hear it, but it's so realistic.
I think we go 5-1 in the division. I think we split it with Seattle, and then I think we actually lose to the Ravens.
I can see that too. Seattle, I don't know what it is about Seattle, right? Like, for some reason, you guys in Seattle, it can happen. It's possible. But there's also a chance that you guys sweep the whole division, Jess. I mean, seriously.
You're right. That's true.
If I were to give you guys any losses, and I mean any losses this year, I'd say Ravens and Eagles. I mean, seriously. And the only reason why I would say Eagles right now is because this team is so damn talented. But you guys are a close second, in my opinion, with them. But beating them, I mean, look, I'm taking last week I took the Bills. I think there's just a lot of special things happening right now. They're my pick at the moment for the Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, the Niners, I think they're right in the conversation. This is like watching a NASCAR race and 4 cars pass the finish line with, centimeters between the tips of their noses passing the stripe. I mean, that's exactly what this is. And you guys right now, I mean, the Ravens, who knows? Maybe you'll catch them on a really good day. Maybe you'll catch them on a, down day. I don't know. But personally, the Niners, this team, if you guys somehow, some way, okay, manage to beat both the Ravens and the Eagles within the weeks apart of each other and stay healthy, seriously, Jess, this team has one of the highest ceilings I think I've seen in a lot of teams for a lot of years. And honestly, there's a big chance 15-2 is possible, but I don't know, Jess, you guys could be even better than that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. And the main thing, you said it, we just have to stay healthy. And as far as the Eagles, you know what, like they drafted pretty well, but that's what they are. They're draft picks. I think the biggest unknown are draft picks. And you can say the same thing with Seattle. Seattle drafted pretty well this year as well. but it's obviously it's a wait and see game. But I know, from talking to Spencer Burford that, that game circled on that calendar is the Philadelphia Eagles game. So I know our guys are going to be, ready to play, and as they will every other game, on the schedule. But that one for sure.
No, you're absolutely right. It is 100%. And yeah, like I said earlier, I'm not twisting my words around, but I meant to say if you guys were to somehow, some way stay healthy fully. But it's the NFL. Injuries are going to happen. But if you guys can stay healthy, at least for the most part, oh my gosh, this Niner team is scary. And there's nobody you guys can't beat. So it's going to be a fun season to watch. The Niners are just, tell it how it is. This is a good football team, and you guys should have very high expectations. I love what I see out of this team. I love the camaraderie. The coaching staff is just unreal. There's so much positivity there. There's so much excitement on this team, and then listening to you, I don't know why I said Burford, listening to him the other day too, there's so much excitement coming from that locker room. You can tell, and it just makes me so happy to know that this team is one of those teams where I just feel like they handle in-house problems in-house. You know what I mean? Like they just,
right.
Hey, someone has an argument with somebody, we fix it here. Hey, someone doesn't like somebody else, we fix it here. Hey, somebody, hey, there's issues or whatever, with on the field crap or whatever, another team. It's fine. It's fine. We can be adult about this and not be stupid and throw punches. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, This team to me is mature. There's a lot of, I don't know. I just really can't say enough about these Niners right now. There's few teams that I could say this stuff about, really. There's very few teams, but the Niners right now have it. I think this team has a very good chance of hoisting the Lombardi this year. And, hey, number 6. First time since, my gosh, Young?
Yeah.
In my opinion, my gosh, that's almost 20 years.
Yeah, it's funny because we should have 7 right now, but we don't. So hopefully this will be number 6 this year.
Hey, well, that's a big possibility, Jess. So with that said, there are 3 teams that you can't stand in this division, and they can't stand your team right back, Jess. The NFC West is fun. Seattle, you got the Rams, and you definitely got the Cardinals in there. You told us how you thought this 49ers team is going to do this year. Please tell us how you think those other 3 teams are going to do this year. And, don't get too crazy, but you can sprinkle a little bit on top and let us know how you really feel about those other 3 teams. Without further ado, Jess, stick it to them.
Well, he'll start with the Rams. They're definitely rebuilding. A lot of people say they're retooling, but I don't think so. They got rid of most of their team. The Cardinals, forget it. They're I really don't have much to say about them. They're in a hole, and I don't think they're going to be coming out anytime soon. And as far as Seattle, like I had said, they drafted well, but that's just it. Their draft picks are the biggest unknown. They always seem to give us, actually, any divisional game is always a competitive game. Last year we went 6-0 in the division. We can possibly do that again. I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic as far as going 5-1 in the division, but I could definitely see us sweeping the division again this year.
Well, spoken like Jess usually does. I love it. To the point, short and sweet, but dominant. I love it. It's like a Tic Tac with the power of 4 packs of gum. It's so small, but it's powerful. But I'll tell you right now, Jess, great stuff as always. This football team, I love it. You guys need to be optimistic. You need to be excited. You need to have the highest ceiling possible because honestly, they can make you guys extremely excited this year. I know they could also give you heartache. I know, trust me, I know. But at the same time, it's football. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to make you guys extremely happy. And you know what? Hey, whatever happens this year happens. This team, though, can definitely hoist the Lombardi. And I think that is totally deserved. and it's totally doable with the roster and with just this team the way they're set up. So with that said, Jess, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're at the end, but thank you so much for being here today. This is always awesome having you on the show. This year, 3 and Out's completely revamped, and we'll be on StreamYard, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to having you back on the show very, very, very soon. All of you guys, too. I'll be Ty, Bex, Maddie, everybody. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. Please let everybody know. Let all the faithful know right now where they can find you, where they can find the show, website, anything else you guys want to share. Please let everybody know, Jess.
Well, you could find me on Twitter at JM41484. You can find the East Coast Red and Gold podcast also on Twitter and Instagram, ECRG_IESR. You could also find us on YouTube, East Coast Red and Gold podcast, also on IE Sports Radio, /East Coast Red and Gold. And you know what? Go Niners. Larry, thanks for having me. It's going to be a magical year, and we're going to be doing a lot of good things on the field and on the show.
Absolutely. Because just like the Niners are going to be doing on the field winning, East Coast Red and Gold is going to be winning as well. So I'm excited for that, Jess. I really am. So thanks again for everything. We appreciate you. Have you a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll have you back on the show very, very soon.
Yeah, look forward to it, Larry. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Take care, Jess. See you soon.
Take care.
All righty, guys. That was Jess. She is awesome. Can we get one more hand clap? This woman loves her Niners, and I love what she delivers to the show every time she's on here. So, with that said, you guys, that is going to do it for NFC West Day. My goodness, we finished up everybody, and well, I know, surprise, surprise, you already don't pick in the Niners, but who will I have 2nd through 4th? We shall find out. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC Week Kickoff, day number 1. Day number 5, if you will. Show number 5 of the entire series of 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC West Day. Right here with me, your boy Larry B, on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. When we come back, I'll give you my final weigh-in of the NFC West right after this.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff from my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, y'all. The AFC West is in the books. And can we get an applause, y'all? A little hand clap for everybody. Great show. Great interviews. And just a big shout out and thank you to everybody who was a part of it today. The chat room, big ups, Taryn, Bishop, Adam, everybody in there today. Thank you so much. And yeah, it was a fun one. So here we are getting the final weigh-in of the NFC West. And honestly, this is a little complex. This is a tough one. Okay, my order is this. I'm just going to come out with it immediately. My order. First place, Niners. Second place, Seahawks. Third place, Cardinals. Fourth place, Rams. Okay, why am I doing that? Why is that my order? Are you guys are probably looking at the Rams fans out there. I don't want you to hate me, okay? Cardinals fans, I don't want you to say, wait a minute, you say good things about us. You couldn't put us any higher. Also, Seahawks fans, I don't want you to to get all crazy and be like, wait a minute, you said we were good enough to be, to compete with the Niners. Yes, but let's just be real. I think everybody knew from the very beginning that I was going to take the Niners, especially after that last segment with Jess, right? Now, why is that my order? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you as best as I can, all right? But this is going to be those are my picks because when you look at the Rams, okay, there's a lot there, and this team could surprise a lot. First things first, I'm just going to give you, as I say, my records. I don't really do records. This year I'm not going to do the records because I feel like it's like blah, they can be what they're going to be. But overall, the Rams right now have a lot. Stafford has proven himself to be pretty solid. There is a good football team in there. Okay, they got a solid offense. The defense it's pretty good. You got Aaron Donald still on the defensive line. I don't know. I feel like they need more, but the defense is good. Losing Jalen was hard, and personally, I don't know. It's hard for me to see this team be able to compete. Defensively, it's a good football team, okay? Offensively, there's a pretty decent football team. Defensively, I just see kind of they're there, but they're not. I don't know. Just my personal opinion. I feel like this team can be like a 7, maybe 6, 7, 8 wins, and I can see it happening, okay? That's fair, in my opinion. All right. Then we take a look at the depth chart. Now, we take a look at the Arizona Cardinals. Depth. All right. Kyler Murray. If he's okay, in my personal opinion, Stafford's good, but I feel like right now the Cardinals have a few more pieces. Just a few more. I feel like the offensive line's built a little bit better. And the defense is actually, I don't know. It's gonna be a fight between these two for third. But I feel like, Budda Baker, this defense is they're a little stronger now with the addition of Kazir White. I feel like this defense has a small leg up on the Rams. But when I say that, you guys, I'm going to go with 7 to 8, 9 wins maybe. But that's my neighborhood for those guys this year. I feel like there's going to be 2 first places this year, really. I feel like, or kind of like when you get the World Cup. Or recently with Taryn and the NBA. I didn't know they had a third place match until this weekend. But still, okay? I feel like right now, this football team, okay, the Cardinals and the Rams, they're going to fight for third place. And then you're going to have the Seahawks, who are going to give it their best shot to fight for first, but they're not going to win. That's pretty much it. Okay. And yes, as Taryn says in the chat room, Kyler Murray is going to be out for a while. Yes, I know this. That's why I'm saying, I feel like right now it could be a toss-up. Am I saying the Rams are horrible? No. But it's just, I mean, I could switch it up. I could easily say the Rams, and I will, because I've totally forgot, Murray's going to be out for a bit. So, okay, I can switch it up and say Cardinals last. But, once again, it's by like a game or two. Colt McCoy, he's Colt McCoy. Let him do his thing. But defensively, I just kind of see, I don't know, when I look at the Cardinals defense, I see like a, I don't know, I'd give it like a 5, and I give the Rams like a 4. I mean, I'm serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so close. There needs to be more, I think, built on these two defenses. However, offensively, I feel like the Cardinals, maybe could put up a little bit more. You know, the Kyler Murray factor, okay, that's a good bet for the Rams to be third. Still only going to be like 8 wins, maybe 9. But in the Cardinals, okay, maybe, you know, without Murray, they're still gonna, you know, they're, even with him this year, I just kind of feel like there needs to be more. So both these teams are hovering between 6 to 8 wins, personally. Then we look at the Seahawks. Okay, the Seahawks have one hell of a team. They really do. I guess I'm just selling all in with this receiving core. Because golly, man, you got Metcalf, you got Lockett. Okay, Young is pretty damn solid. Okay, another guy back there that they're gonna have. Now you have Jackson Smith and Njigba. Okay, you have some good depth back there too. But when it comes down to it, just those 3 guys together: Metcalf, Lockett, and Njigba. Then, you know, running backs. I mean, Kenneth Walker, he's pretty good. You know, but once again, it's just. They're going to be very, very pass-heavy. Don't forget, Gino Smith is a threat on the ground, okay? He's a little older, I get it, you know, in his early 30s. But I just kind of feel like, I don't know, when it comes to today's game, guys, that's what it is. We're looking at the D value now of the old school ground and pound with the running backs, and we're looking at this air game where the quarterback is a dude you have to watch now, guys. You know, I play this game for a very long time, and one thing that you're always going to see the majority of the season is a quarterback that likes to take off. It's a part of the game. The pocket passer is a dude that, you know, I mean, look at, if that wasn't true, then would Tom Brady have had his couple rushes here and there? I mean, it kind of just trickles down to that. Sooner or later, the quarterback's going to have to take off. When you're playing a team that's tightened up on defense, that has a hell of a man coverage on you all game long, they're covering your best receivers, you know, you can't get your running backs out of the backfield, the quarterback's going to see a lane and go. I don't care if it's a few yards or not. The quarterback's going to go. When you get a guy who just wants to rely, you know, half and half on his arm and half, you know, with his legs, think about this. There's always going to be the urgency of, hey, we have to get that first down at all costs. That's football, right? So that means there's always going to be the chance that anything can happen on offense, including the quarterback taking off. And that means that when you get somebody back there that's mobile and that could still throw the football, it's going to be a long day if you don't have that quarterback contained. Something's always going to be open, you guys. In every single coverage, there's something that's always going to be open. Holes in the seam route in cover 2, you know, cover 3. A corner route can really defeat that if that receiver runs it very, very well. I'm just saying, guys, you know, drag routes can defeat man. Just get faster than the guy and just go, you know, hit the routes underneath. Check downs and everything. Guys, there's always going to be something. But the hardest part about defense is when you have a pretty solid offensive line and then you got a guy that can take off. Now, am I saying that the Seahawks have a pretty solid offensive line? They're okay. They're not the best offensive line in the world. But all you really need is a dude to just get in someone's way. That's it. Fall down in front of him. My gosh, just give the quarterback a chance to get a few yards. And I feel like that's where Geno Smith is really going to shine. They have Drew Lock back there as well, who's also pretty mobile, you know, just in case. But I feel like Geno's coming into his own. And I feel like right now with all these receivers, that they got now. They got 3 really good receivers. Kenneth Walker's pretty solid running back, They got an okay offensive line, but you got a guy back there like Gino Smith. This could also be Murray, But, once again, he's not gonna be playing for a while. My thing is with the Rams. Now, let me go back to the Rams. Okay. Am I saying that the Rams don't have a chance? Of course I do. Am I saying that Matthew Stafford can't run? He can run. He's okay. I don't think he's as fast, but, and do they have okay receivers? Yes. Cooper Kupp is pretty solid. They got DeMarcus Robinson now. Van Jefferson, pretty good receiver. The young man out of Florida, he's been all right. Higbee is a pretty solid tight end. The offensive line ain't all that, but once again, I look at the defense and I just don't see much there like there used to be, So I just feel like that's going to be kind of tough. So that's why I'm going to say that the Rams, like I said, 6 to 8 wins. I'm going to go with the Cardinals being right around the same exact thing. With Kyler Murray, I think they might be fighting for second. But at the moment, I'm going to go with offensively, because the game is evolving with the Seahawks. And the Seahawks, in my opinion, are only get like 9 or 10 wins. That's it. Now we're getting to the juggernaut, the 49ers. Okay, and big up to Taryn, by the way, in the chat room, posting his picks here. He's going Niners, Rams, he says barely, Seahawks, and Cardinals. Okay, there you go. But my thing is we all got opinions, and I love it. So thank you for that, Taryn. But the Niners is hands down. Hands down, they're going to be the champs this year of the NFC West, unless something crazy happens, But it all depends on health. We've heard it a million times. That's exactly what it depends on. But if you really look at it, you guys, the Rams are the Niners are built. This team is so good, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be. Earlier, Taryn said that, he said if the Niners don't go to the NFC Championship, and I'm like, exactly. This team is built to get to that far. I feel like a disappointment is anything less than the NFC Championship this year. And really, at that point in time, just get to the Super Bowl. This team is good. The Niners are good. They're strong, And I feel like this team right now has so much going for them. They're one hell of a football team, and they're going to go far. My only thing is the Eagles. Can they get past the Eagles this year in the NFC? But there's reason to believe it can happen. We'll see. Taryn chimes in, says, Cardinals, to me, have a low ceiling. I really hope this doesn't happen, but they might go winless. I get it because the quarterback situation. I totally understand that. But they once again, my ceiling for them is like 8 wins. And that's actually a really high ceiling in my opinion. They may go winless. They may not have a lot of wins at all. The same thing with the Rams. I don't see the Rams winning. I mean, I guess I can switch that around. I totally, I'm forgetting about the Kyler Murray thing, but I just don't see the Rams winning more than 8 games at all. I mean, really. But it's just that kind of thing. Once again, we all got opinions, right? But he says, I don't want that to happen, but they just don't have the depth to compete with their opponents this year. Yeah, it's true. But regardless, neither do the Rams. It's just, I really feel like those two are going to be fighting for third, trying not to be fourth. The Seahawks are going to be that pretty okay football team that's middle of the road, that can compete, but still not be complete. And then you have the juggernaut at the top, the Niners, who are just going to destroy everybody. I mean, rivalries happen. Rivalries are what we live for. We love them. But, and they may or may not drop one to one of these division rivals on any given Sunday, any given day. Regardless, the Niners might just run through the division and go undefeated 6-0, So, it's just, we'll see. But regardless, though, that's what I think. You guys voted today in the chat room. Thank you for everybody who voted, by the way. Sorry, on 3 and Out. You headed over to 3 and Out. Thank you for giving us a follow as well at 3 and Out, IESR on Twitter, or on X, sorry. And you have here the 49ers. So 42% of you are going with the 49ers. 28% of you are going with the Seahawks. And 15% apiece are going to be the Rams and the Cardinals. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. And Taryn says here, I can still understand how Gino Smith has been reborn. Yeah, it's crazy, right, Taryn? And that's why I'm telling you. Gino Smith is not, this dude's not the best quarterback in the world. He's not going to be the best quarterback this year, I don't think. But it's just the fact that the Seahawks have a pretty solid defense, and he's mobile, and they have some good receivers. I just feel this team is going to be, pretty mediocre, just above. That's about it. But I do think that, yeah, Taryn, you're absolutely right. Like I said, totally forgot about, Kyler Murray being out for a while. So, yeah, I can totally see the Cardinals being pretty low. But the Rams, like I said, I don't think they're going to be much better. And that's no diss, you guys. That is no, do not take that out of context there. I am not by any means dissing this entire unit, this entire team, and I'm not saying, whatsoever that, what's his name? Matthew Stafford isn't good, but it's just the depth isn't there either. And like I said, this defense, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, okay, I don't even know anybody on this defense really. I mean, they're okay, but it's just there's nothing there really, that stands out. So anyway, so those are my thoughts this year on the NFC West. It's going to be a lot of fun, and well, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to cue that music, because we're up out of here. Alright, y'all, it's been a fun show, and that is gonna do it. Oh my goodness, we are now one team down in the NFC, and three more divisions. Sorry, one division down in the NFC, and 3 more to go. Taryn also jumps in here and says Rams need a better run game. They definitely do. Who knows? They can surprise us all. Once again, I could be completely wrong. I could be right. Doesn't matter. It's just, it's all speculation. We don't know until they get on the field, right? So, anyway, thank you to all of our guests today. Built for LA, Kieran Daly, Seahawks today, and Niner Jess. Awesome people. Awesome people there, and glad to have them all part of the show. Make sure you follow them all, check them out, see all their shows, social media, websites, all that fun stuff, y'all. And that is that. We have a great show planned up for you guys tomorrow with the NFC East, talking Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, and Eagles. So it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. That's a great division. And, well, that's it. Remember, coming up on Wednesday, we have the NFC South, talking Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers. And then we're finishing out on Thursday, talking the NFC North, closing out 8 divisions in 8 days with the Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings. So there it is. Make sure you give us a follow, you guys, on social media all over the place. TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, at IE Sports Radio. Give the show a follow at the 3 and Out, all spelled out, 3 and Out, IESR. You follow me, your boy Larry B at the THEE_LB53. Give us all, check out our website, show us some love. T-shirt sale going on right now, or merchandise sale. Make sure IE Sports IESR Summer Sale 23 is a promo code. You get 10% off all of your IE Sports Radio merchandise on our website. That is IESportsRadio.com/shop. Check it out. Show us some love. Help support the show. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Big ups to our sponsor, Planet Jerky. Delicious premium brisket jerky. There's our raffle going on right now with them. Check them out, planetjerky.net. Order your raffle and get 4 tickets to see the single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres, the Lake Elsinore Storm, or get 4 bags of jerky. It's a great deal. Go buy your jerky today. DM him on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Let him know you heard the ad here, and he'll enter you into the raffle. So there it is, you guys. That's going to do it. Big ups to all our listeners out there, of course. Big ups to the man above, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. For without him, nothing is possible. Big ups to all you guys out there. For without you, IE Sports Radio is not possible. We thank you. And, well, there we have it. Day number 1 of NFC Week is complete. 3 more to go. Tomorrow we're talking NFC East. Let's do it, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.